But you always fuck up the countdown, Sam. Why did you mute your mic?
Good
Wait,
job.
I'll count you in and silence. Go. Like, what
Did you
the
just
fuck
say
is that?
go?
Fucking
Yeah,
Sam.
he did.
Welcome to
Fucking Sam.
esports, shit in my mouth.
Serious, dude. Like, what a fucking asshole. Anyway, yeah, we're live. Welcome to First Blood. I'm Richard Lewis, your host. This is the really irreverent league show. Although primetime league is pretty awesome. And with me, as always, is my lovely co-host from sunny Israel. It is Ram Brokenshard Jamal. How are you doing, Ram? Are you good?
Excellent. My team won yesterday. Versus
no,
Yeah.
No one can. Your career's just become a sad afterthought at this point, Ram.
Yeah, I think after I make LCS for the
God.
seventh, I think after I make LCS for the seventh time,
Why
I'd like
would
to
you
stay
say that?
somewhere.
It ain't happening, bro. Just hurry up and get into that coaching. I hear Dignitas are looking, so maybe that'll.
Oh.
How's your Korean?
Non-existent.
Thought so. Kind of like your English. Anyway, let's move across to our guest. It is Sky Williams.
Oh, hey. Jesus.
Hey, how are you doing? Last time we talked on Skype, we had a lot less clothes on. How have you been?
Don't think that's accurate. And I've been great. I'm just got back from Apex and just drank last night, and now I'm here and I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm admiring the feigned enthusiasm of having to do a show with a hangover. Like, I gotta fucking literally, I don't know how you do it, bro. And I gotta say, I noticed the hair transplant really worked out for you. Nice.
Well, to bruh. Hello, GameStop? Yes, this is Sky. What's good? You have my Bowser amiibo? Bruh, don't sell that to anybody. I'll be there to pick it up later on today. Okay, can you wait, okay, this is the one of Santa Monica? All right, got it. Thank you. Okay, bye.
I think that's the first time someone's taken a phone call on First Blood.
What I like about it, though, is when people don't realize-
they got my amiibo. Like,
Man, shut the fuck up. We all know that's code for drugs, bro. We all know what's going on. We all know what's going on. Straight out of Compton with fucking Sky Williams. So,
why is it Compton? What?
I'm just making racial stereotypes. What's wrong?
No, I mean, that's
Sky,
pretty much what.
Did you have that conversation with your brand new HTC phone?
Oh, I heard about that. Isn't that didn't Liquid do that? I didn't actually watch I love cringe, but someone told me that it was so bad, and I was like, I don't know if I want to watch it because that might be too much for me. Is it bad?
It's pretty bad.
I'm gonna watch it right now. Hold up. I'm gonna live. This is honestly my first time watching it because I had to stop it, but hold on. Okay, HTC plug league. Oh God, here we go. Liquid with the plug. All right. Compared to last split.
Come on, you got this, guy. It's YouTube. You familiar with it?
Oh no.
Yeah, he did do that.
He did.
I was not. GameStop actually called me. I swear he did. I am so sorry.
Well, it's interesting, man, because I just realized you're in the Liquid agency now, right? Aren't you?
I don't think so. Like Liquid and I, we talk sometimes, and he wants me to do some things for some companies, but I don't think that I'm in the agency. I've heard that I am. People have literally been using my picture and name for things. I don't even know if it's true anymore. Like apparently I'm gonna be in a convention. Like I'm the host.
Let me see if I can find this. Because I think this is what was the website for the agency? Isn't it like liquid.gg or some shit? But yeah. You're on that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're on that website, dude.
Okay. Well, shit. I guess I'm on that way. I guess that I'm part of Liquid GG then. Fine. I'll take it.
Liquid Media. There you go. Hang on. Let's bring it up, Sam. Bring it up for us so Sky can see that he is part of an agency. I got to be honest. I was gonna ask how that's going. But I guess based on the fact you don't even know in the agency, they can't have got you a lot of work yet.
It's kind of not a good question because I really don't know. I mean, like I don't. I'm just returning to league, so I'm kind of like a few months late to work, and so I'm just trying to come back and just see what's going on. To be honest.
Right. Well, so let's try and start. Yeah, you are there. You are there. You're described as a streamer and YouTube personality, and I'll read you the way you're described. You'll like this guy.
Okay.
Sky Williams is at the forefront of a new era of online comedians, bridging the gap between tradition. Bridging the gap between traditional media and streaming entertainment. With over 445,000 subscribers on YouTube, Sky is known for his face-hurting, ab-aching, comical commentary on leading games in the community. Does that sound like you, bro?
Sky,
No.
I want you to hurt my face. Just hurt my face.
I've never heard anything described as face hurting. That sounds. I've never heard that before, so no. I don't know. I don't know if that's me, man.
Well, you've made my face hurt before.
Thank
So, this shows we're not going to upload this VOD. Fuck it, it's done. But no. So why have you been away from League, Sky? Because there was a period of time where I seem to remember, whether it was a New Year's resolution or whatever kooky shit you did, and you were like, I'm going to start making more content for League. I'm going to be all about the League. I love League. League loves me. I'm going to make videos. And then everyone was like, yeah, Sky's going to make videos. And then you didn't make as many videos.
All right. Well, actually, a lot of things happened. First of all, Smash 4 was kind of consuming my life, and it still is because I love it. Smash in general, and so I started playing that a lot. But what really impacted me was like, I'm just so bad at League. Like, I'm just absolute horseshit bad. And I started thinking like, man, maybe this game just isn't for me, right? Because I would just get slaughtered in this new jungle. Like I just can't do it. And then like my stream numbers would decline due to my lack of consistency. So then I was like, okay, so I suck at League and I'm a has-been, bruh. And then I was like, I can't find anything to talk about and for my videos, right? So I'm just like, damn it. So then I was like, all right, I'm cool on League for a little bit because I think that I want to like quit while I'm ahead, but I wasn't really ahead. I want to cut my losses. You know what I mean? So then I left, and now Black Enola is the golden child of Reddit, which is great. Good for him. He's doing great. It's just there's not room for two black people. You know what I mean? I'm not even I'm not even making like just a stereotypical race joke. I'm being real. Like when there's another black person in the field that you are like that's more successful than you, you just like you gotta just duck out and be like, all right, do you? You know what I mean? I'm gonna just go over here for a little bit. That's how it is. I'm telling you.
I thought you and Black Enola had a good relationship. I often saw you guys tweeting at each other. I thought maybe you had some sort of deal going on where it was like, I'm kind of tired right now and the scene needs a black guy. Can you stand in for a bit? And then
that's not how meetings go. Nigga. It's not. You can't just be like, hey yo, I'm ducking out for a bit. Could you be my my replacement black? Like word? Like it doesn't happen like that. It was more like,
how much fried chicken did you give him?
Oh,
see, that's
Ram.
Ram, you're low-hanging fruit, man. Come on, we're so past that. Like everybody likes fried chicken, not just the blacks. If you don't like it, there's something wrong with you. Okay, I'm not even.
I think we can tell Ram is partial to that kind of food. But yeah, sorry, what were you gonna say about that?
Ruthless.
He's ruthless. He makes fun of me all the time. I haven't eaten the pizza in fucking 4.5 weeks. Do you know how hard?
Ram, it doesn't matter. None of this matters. Look, let me tell you something about weight loss. Like, I've been doing the same. I've been going to the gym. I've been trying to eat better. But like Crepo was the GOAT. That boy went from a basketball to a Greek god. Like he did it. And that's what you got to do. You got to shut your mouth. You got to not say shit about it until 6 months later you're fit. Until then, no one wants to hear it. I'm telling you. It's gonna slow down your progress if you keep talking about it. I promise you. Promise you. Gotta just do it. Just be about that life.
Or just give up, which is
Okay,
also
that
good.
too.
Yeah.
Literally, just quit it all and just give up all your dreams and don't go to the gym anymore.
That's what I've
But
done.
like that's what I'm saying. Crepo played it right. That boy went from. I mean, I was like, damn. Like, what's my new wallpaper on my phone, bro? Like, good shit. He definitely went in.
So I don't even know where the fuck we went. Yeah, you and Black Enola. That's what I was
Oh yeah,
Black,
circling
as the black
back,
guy.
circling back to Black Enola. Like, I don't have anything against him at all. It's just like, I he makes a lot more content than I do, and I have this fear that when I make League of Legends content, like a lot of people say, don't read the comments, don't read the I am so open to all constructive criticism. I literally I read it. I have discussions with people that don't like my content or don't like me, and I'll do that, right? But after a while, like, I'm working on trying to just improve my comedy. And Black Enola he's just throwing videos, like video. And I was like, well, I can't keep up. I have to make sure my video is really good before I release it, and it takes too long and people get impatient. I wanted to do my gameplay videos every week, but I didn't want them to get old.
Yeah. But here's the thing, right? It's day and night, in my opinion. I'm going to say something that's real controversial. If you weren't on the show, I'd never say this. But I think the fact that you're a guest insulates me from any accusations that might get thrown around. You're basically, you're my wingman on this. I don't really think Black Enola's content's all that good. I think he's kind of just a voice.
You can't just say it. You can't.
I know.
He's the Reddit golden child. You can't say that.
Though. I think he's got a great voice and a great recording voice, but here's the difference, right? So when you're making a video, more often than not, they're scripted. I know you write comedy, you define yourself as a comedian. Hell, the agency that you're in defines you as face achingly funny, and therefore, obviously, you've got to write all this new material. So when you're writing all this material, that's time when you can't record a video because you've got to get the material, then you've got to try the material, prep the material. Right. I've done stand-up. I know what it's like. If your thing is just turning up and reading with an amazing voice, which he absolutely has got, like one of the best recording voices I've heard in a long time, it's a hell of a lot easier to produce content. And when I just look at it constructively, I think, well, kind of all the guy is doing is just kind of reading things. He's just reading things.
That's not necessarily true.
Well, I'd like to put my input. I think that Black Enola has come a long way. Because I disagree. I think Black Enola's content is pretty good, and that's coming objectively. But that's what it is. It's pretty good. Like, he impressed me a lot with his patch notes, not because of his voice. I only listen to comedic writing, right? Like, I want to see if something's really funny. There was one thing that he said in one of his videos a long time ago. He says, like, Eve has become a walking ward. I don't think I've ever laughed that hard. Like, I had to stop the video. I was dying. And that, to me, like, it showed me that he has a lot of comedic potential, and his and like that just impressed me. And I've talked to this dude from when he had 6,000 subs, and I came out with my first, 5 Reasons Why Your Jungler Hates You. He was the first person to really welcome me. But Black Enola and I would talk on the side, and he would say, nobody really believes in me, nobody wants to collab with me. My only qualm with Black Enola is that when we would talk about those things, I gave him 2 ideas. One of them was to voice act champions and make like a tutorial about them. So like, let's say he was doing Shaco, or anyone really, and he can voice act those champions and then just say funny things after the normal, like, how about a magic trick, nigga? Like, that shit, like, that would be so funny, right? But then like he never used it, and that's fine. But then, like, we stopped talking, and I just feel like after he found his niche that he just didn't like me anymore. And I felt really insulted because I was like, man, I so had your back. But his content is great. Like, I think that his content is totally fine, and I don't really have a bad thing to say about his content. It's just we're all trying to find...
I just think it's a little blasé, I guess. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I'm sure he's a cool guy. Although, again, I saw you. Didn't you guys have an argument about racism or something on Twitter.
Oh, you were just getting all this good. You're good at this.
I do my research.
We had an argument about how the police brutally killed some black guy in New York, I believe, and he was blaming the whole police force, and I was saying it's not right to blame the whole police force. And then we really got into it, like hard. And and then Uber Danger comes in and says, you know, Sky has been trying to stray away from, you know, using black and gay jokes, and you are literally only that. And then that was a big thing. And then I ducked out because it was too much. So I just was like, fuck it. Yeah, that was big. I don't know, man. I don't have any negativity towards the dude. I think Black Enola is doing great, and I'm really proud. It actually tears me up to know that he went from 6K subs to like 150K subs on YouTube. That boy is putting in the work, and I wish him all the best. I just don't think that there's room for two niggas. That's it.
Come on, dude. It's not like Reddit's running this Garena type shit where it's like you can have a group of YouTubers, but only one of them is black.
No, but only one of, like, here's the thing. Only one of them is liked. Reddit is one of the most beautiful, fascinating things to ever happen to me. Like, I thought I understood it, then I didn't, then I did, and now I'm just confused. But like, Black Enola is pretty PG for most of his stuff. He's got great sayings. He's got shirts. He's doing the business. He's going in, and Reddit loves it. They love his content. And Reddit doesn't like me as much for good reason too. I literally killed the black gay thing and fat for a year or two, and I understand why. Trust me, I'm not salty at all. I just have to figure out a way to reintroduce myself to people, be that esports comedian that I think I can be, go to more events and be more active while still remembering the critique that I got from everybody on Reddit.
So you think it's a fair criticism then? Because I mean, this leads on to a question I was going to ask anyway, but I'll just ask now. You know, when people say, because it actually annoys me, like when I see people commenting on you and it's like, you know, look at me, I'm black, I'm gay. This is all Sky ever talks about, which, you know, I think that's quite harsh. I don't think that necessarily encapsulates everything that your material was about. But you seem to be saying now that you actually think, you know, there was a bit of overkill on your part, and you kind of maybe rehashed the material from those.
Well, if I could just interject, like, that's actually not what I saw when I was first watching your videos back when I was in like DTG. I don't even fucking remember. Like 3 or 4 teams ago. A lot of your videos were also directed towards like some LCS players, and not only that, they were just motivational by nature, and that's kind of how I thought people saw you as, and I thought that niche that you did as like a motivational type person who also delved into like that comedic aspect. Like when you were talking about fucking Maple Street wiping his fucking tears with money, I was dying on the fucking floor. That was hilarious. I always thought that was your niche, and I was legitimately surprised when I saw people saying all Sky ever talks about is how black, fat, and gay he is, and I'm like, yeah, but he is those things.
Right, and I don't know. I never really.
Way to call a brother fat, Ram. Holy shit, man.
I mean,
yeah, Jesus Christ. I mean, the thing is though, after I was slaughtered in Donkey's rap, it was over. Like when Donkey put me in his rap, that was the rap. That was it, and I just had to like bite the bullet and say, "Well, rip." Like that's it.
What did Donkey say? I forgot.
Donkey, hi, my name's Sky, or hi, my name's Sky. Look something. I'm black and fat, and I shove it down everyone's throat.
Hang on. Let me get this right, because I had this memorized for some reason. This was one of the questions I was going to ask. He says, hi, my name's Sky. Yeah, Connor, right? Sam, you said
everyone has it. You can ask your viewers. They all know it.
Hi, my name's Sky. Did you guys know that I'm fat, and I'm black, and I shove it down everyone's throat every day?
No, it's I'm black and I'm gay, and I shove it down everyone's throat every day.
Yeah,
that's what it is. There it is. That was it. So it was black and gay, not fat. There was no fat involved. I don't think Donkey minds too much about that. His weight has fluctuated. Himself. So here was the thing. I was going to ask the question, like, You said it was over. I always thought that was like maybe some
Here it
playful
is. Here it is.
banter
Here it is.
because
Here it is. Hi, I'm Sky. I'm black and I'm
We
gay.
already
We already did it.
So it's every goddamn day. There we go. It's in the chat. It's in the chat.
no. So I've seen YouTubers when I go to events and they all hang out together, all of them. It's like a little weird cult, and they have each other's back, and they do the whole groupie thing together and all of that shit. And I wondered whether it was like playful and you were kind of in on the joke, or actually if it was Donkey kind of really having a pop at a few people, because there were other people on that list, and I thought, yeah, actually, he's summarizing them quite well. The Civ HD skit I thought was way more on point, actually.
I mean, me and Donkey are like best friends, so I didn't take offense to it at all. But I think it was more directed towards Kiori, and then those two have a really long-lasting like rivalry. So I don't know, but yeah, I mean,
okay, but if you're buddies and he puts that in there, and you're now saying that like there was no way back from you from that point, it's whether it was intended or not, it's kind of is it a sucky thing? Or...
No, I mean, look at the end. Look, let me give you an example. I'm gonna tell you my thought process of this. Okay, people in the chat right now absolutely hate this episode of First Blood so far because we're not talking about esports, we're talking about YouTube, we're talking about entertainment. So they're throwing their really mean, messed up comments, and I'm reading them, right? So when it comes to things like that, when Donkey puts me on blast on one of his videos, and people are going to say hateful, mean things, or whatever they want to say, to me, I could go the arrogant route and be like, blah, 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 I make money, blah, blah, but that's not the right way to do things. I've seen YouTubers do that. It's not the right way. I just have to say that, like, the people that assume these things, the people that don't really know my comedy, like, they don't know me. You know what I mean? Like, I just have to be like, well, tough break, nigga. Like, I can't do anything about their opinion. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna be like, hey, Elise Master 27, stop picking on me. Like, nah, bro. Like, what are you gonna do? You just gotta keep on keeping on. You gotta get as big as you can. People are gonna make things up. I've had people make Reddit threads of literally made up garbage that I disproved later and it got deleted. But people are gonna just.
Would one of those made up things revolve around your penis?
No, actually, this Reddit post was about League, and it was a Reddit post on the League subreddit, and it was basically one guy saying, I just got Sky in my game, and all he did was talk about how famous he was, and he said that he hates Redditors. Like he just this made up story out of nowhere. Granted, this was when I had a break from League, and I was out of the of my state, so I was like, absolutely dumbfounded. I didn't do that at all. So it just goes to show that people are gonna believe whatever they want to believe, But
so, well, look, right. So here's something we'll move on to. We'll talk about some actual league shit. Yeah, and we'll get back to the incredibly strange world of Sky Williams soon, because I like talking about it, and it's my fucking show, and I don't give a fuck if anyone watching it doesn't like it.
Claws Bear.
They can also suck a dick. I don't give a fuck. Right. So one of the big stories I thought that kind of happened in the last few days, in fact, it probably is about 36 hours ago, was that Garena Esports Philippines had basically made this ridiculous decision. They were running a female tournament called the Iron Solari League, and in it they had added a rule for some reason, which reads that each team will be allowed to have a maximum of one, then in brackets, one gay/transgendered woman for the entirety of tournament day. Therefore, teams cannot do the following. Team A's first game will be with 4 female members and a gay. Then on Team A's second game, they will have 4 female members and replace the gay with a transgendered member. And any teams that basically had more than one lesbian or more than one transgendered person were going to receive a 1-year ban from all Garena organized events. That was their idea of brainstorming anyway. Everyone was rightfully outraged. It happened while I was on air doing another show. And they've actually made an alteration, an apology today about it. But the apology is just so insufficient, in my opinion. Literally, this is what they, again, it's only short, so I'll read it. Our initial ruling on LGBT player restrictions with the Iron Solari League has created a lot of good discussion and debate. What is there to fucking discuss or debate, by the way? Whoever is on the other side of that discussion is fucking, you're just wrong. Like, it's not even a like, well, I think this, and oh, that's interesting. I think you're just fucking wrong. Like, end of story. Anyway, after discussing the rulers with our partners and re-examining our approach, we've decided to remove these restrictions completely. This means that any player who self-identifies as female will be allowed to participate. We sincerely apologize for any offense we caused.
It was actually the dumbest fucking thing I've ever read. We were in a game against Sparta, and we were paused, and I was reading it, and I pretty much told my team, guys, this is the dumbest fucking thing on the internet. And we were talking about it while we were in a game. Like, I thought that esports had evolved to an age where people would stop doing stupid shit, but then I realized that people are always gonna do stupid shit. Because people are genuinely stupid. Like, I'm pretty sure no one looked over this and said, you know, this is not going to make anybody angry. We're being fair here. Let's post it on the internet. Like, for God's sake, any fucking guy with at least a 50 IQ, which is, like, way below average if people don't know, like, is going to say this is a little bit problematic here.
Well,
I couldn't believe it, man.
Go on.
No, I was going to say, well, what do you make of it, Sky?
I think I have kind of an unpopular opinion. Like for this Garena thing. Like, when I first heard about it, I didn't understand. But then when I fully got it and like actually understood, I just think my opinion's unpopular. And that is, like, it's really hard for me to judge a country or an organization on their cultural beliefs. If in the Philippines it's not like, it's hard enough living a life as a transgender person. Like, I have friends that are transgender. It's tragic. It's just strictly tragic. And a lot of people just don't understand it. And it's the lack of understanding that creates these rules. But I think that, you know, this is going to sound so bad. Just me personally, I've never tried to go and change someone's like belief of what they believe or what they're comfortable with. If I meet someone that's homophobic, I do literally every day. I have a lot of people that email me wanting me dead. Like, and I tell them the same thing. You know, if being gay means going to hell, then I'm just gonna there's a huge gay party in hell, and it's just gonna be great. But like, for me, for this situation, I'm like, if that's the cultural beliefs that these people believe, I don't personally have a right to tell them that they're wrong. That's why I don't like using the word wrong, because that's how, if that's how they were raised and that's how they believe, then that's what they believe. I'm sorry if that's ignorant and stupid, but that's just kind of how I feel, and I don't really want to lie about it.
You'd be very surprised. You'd be very surprised how open people in the Philippines are towards gay and transgender people. You'd be very surprised. Like, for a country that's, I guess nowadays it's considered third world. I don't know if it's considered third world. I don't know. They're very done
fucked up now, because even if it was, I don't.
I mean, thinking of all the corruption.
People are gonna tell you, Ram. They're gonna tell you.
Thinking of all the corruption and fucking disparity between the rich and the poor, it might as well be. But they're very open towards gay and transgender people.
Yeah,
that's why I was really surprised about the rule.
I guess it's just coming from a place where, like, you know, I was introduced to a culture that likes to like burn their dead, right? And then they think it's weird that Americans bury their dead, right? And so that perception made me believe, like, wow, things are just different in different places. See, I don't know the cultural beliefs of that area. If you're telling me that, then it changes everything entirely. Then yeah, they're just stupid. But I'm not aware of how the Philippines think or act, and so I'm I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna try to change their beliefs if that's what they want to believe. I think it just sucks, and I'm really glad that it got changed. I was just alarmed by Riot's tweet saying like, we allow LGBT, we allow all of them, and I'm like, why is this even a tweet right now? Like, so then I found out what happened, and so now it makes sense.
So, well, I feel a little bit differently to you. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do an exercise. I've never done anything like this before on the show, and I want to absolutely qualify it that while I think this is just a morally repugnant stance from Garena, even with the apology, and I sincerely can't believe that in something that pertains to esports, where there is absolutely no need to kind of bring in all the cultural baggage that we've got outside of it. There's no need. It doesn't need to be there. This is something completely new. The barriers of separation, there's no need to bring them into esports. There absolutely isn't. There's no good reason to, kind of make the same mistakes. And I think one of the great things about esports is that it's inclusive. You only have to look over at the StarCraft community and the way they've embraced Scarlet. We can really achieve great things when it comes to understanding and the appreciation of diversity. So,
I agree completely.
When I read this, I got really pissed off. I couldn't believe it. And then when I read the apology, I thought that was going to make the pissed off go away, and it just hasn't. It's kind of made it a little bit worse. So I'll qualify this by saying, as everybody knows, when all that Gamergate shit was going off, I don't approve of harassment of people, especially based on their opinions. I don't approve of doxing people, unless I'm doing the doxing, obviously. I don't. Nice little smirk there, Sky.
Understandable.
Yeah, and I definitely don't appreciate DDoSing people. But here's what I wanted to do. Now, the League of Legends community, you guys don't like me, and most of the time I don't like you, okay? But this is for a cause. So I want everybody that's watching right now, we're just going to do an exercise, okay? We're just going to do a little exercise. And the first part of this exercise is I want you to go on the internet, and I want you to find a piece of lesbian porn, just a picture. We're going to have to use safe for work porn. Isn't that right, Sam? Did we prepare some earlier? No, but the one I gave you, it's just tongues. We should be okay.
Why do you have porn prepared?
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. There's the guy who posted the ruling on the Garena website. The esports executive of Garena Philippines has a Facebook page, which we're going to bring up now. Sam's gonna post that for you so you can see it.
Man.
And it's www.facebook.com/ggsphere.
Hey, Richard.
Yeah.
After this, could I go back and redo my feelings about the whole thing? Because I have decided that I have a manager now, and I have to go against what he said. I'm not going to be PR correct. I got to just talk about how I feel.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Fuck, sorry, Matt, but I can't fucking handle that shit. I just think that I was literally outraged. I've never been more angry. Because damn, nigga, I can't even explain how much a slap in the face it is already when you have to go day in and day out, just being different from the normal, from the norm, literally every single day. And it haunts you. And that's why you make jokes about it. And to literally have, where League of Legends has created a family, it's created all of these things and these people, it's created a culture, it's created so much. And to think that in a certain part of the world, there is, the ideas of people being not let in because of those differences that you just can't control.
Yep.
I wanted to find the CEO and just literally suck his dick. I don't give a fuck. And I will convert that nigga, and I will make sure that he knows that it is not it's not a bad thing. And I don't want him dead. I wanted to give him head, nigga. That's what I'm trying to say. And that's why I'm mad. I'm angry. And when Riot posted that tweet, I was so mad, and I had to consult my manager, and I had to be like, what do I respond? But I couldn't because my manager's straight, and that nigga just doesn't know when you get excluded from shit. So I was like, nah, nigga, like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna make my own fucking league and have only gay people. And when a straight person walks in, I'm gonna be like, oh, no, sorry. And they're gonna be like, oh, but I'm gay. Really? We'll suck this dick. Or if it's a girl, then eat that pussy. That's what I'm saying. I was like, oh my God, like, we don't exclude straights from anything. And it pisses me off that people would have the audacity to do, anyway.
Yeah, so now okay, take time. So here's what we're going to do. So, Sam, I want you to bring it up on stream. And what we want you guys to do at home is we want you to take your pre-prepared piece of lesbian pornography. And as I said, because this is a Twitch stream and we want to adhere to Twitch's terms of service, we're using safe for work pornography. So, Sam, if you can go to GG Sphere's Facebook page, please. And there's an option on there to post with a photo. So what I want you to do is I want you to write something, just, you know, what's wrong with this ? And deploy the lesbian pornography.
What did fucking Josh put on the page?
I don't know. So Sam, come on, have you deployed? Come on. You're better than this, Sam. So I hate all that social justice warrior bullshit. Like, I don't want to dox anyone. I don't want to harass anybody. But I think the guy's got to fucking realize that, he done fucked up, and perhaps taking a day of removing lesbian porn from his Facebook page might make him realize that he shouldn't be a horrible homophobe.
I think the thing that really like upsets me the most is when people play League of Legends. Like, we're the nerds, man. We're the geeks. We come from all different backgrounds, but we have found there are people out there that don't have friends in real life. They don't, and they don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to talk. League of Legends has given them an avenue to find a family of friends that you can hit up on Skype and play. And we found that in this beautiful game. And that's why, I consider the League community my family as well. And that's why when this shit happens, it breaks my heart that there are some people that are not being included in a tournament. You could be white, black, purple. You could want to fuck cars. I don't care. Like, you play League. At the end of the day, don't feed, and I ain't gonna be mad at you. Like, you could be anything you want. Just please don't feed. Like, please.
And
that's it.
Just while Sam's getting the porn all set up, we've had a few tweets in about this bit. I mean, there's a few people saying, "Oh, you can't do this; it's terrible." It's not cyber terrorism, guys. Fucking relax. It's lesbian porn. It's okay. And Arno Mejin tweeted me and says, "In my opinion, Garena can't do an apology unless the apology is someone hacked our website and posted this," which I completely fucking agree with that. So, Sam, where are we at with the porn? How's it? Yeah, right. Come on, get it on stream. I want to see you post some beautiful kissing women on GG Sphere's Facebook page. So let's get that up there. Come on, you've got this, Sam.
You're about to make one guy very, very happy.
There it is. So, that's nice. You can see they're using the tongues there. What's wrong with this ? There we go. And I urge everybody here, if you haven't already, to do the same. So to get that post up there. And there we are. You can see that's what we want to see more of on GG Sphere's Facebook page. Now, there is a serious component to this little protest I want you people to take in as well. And that is, if you go to the website that we have, which is thinkpeace.gg, you will notice on the front page, I've done something for you guys. I've prepared a letter for you all, which here's what I want you to do. I want you to copy and paste this letter, and I want you to send it to, not to Garena, but to Brandon Beck. And again, Sam, if you bring this up on stream while I'm talking about it. Now, the Brandon Beck's email is bbeck@riotgames.com. That's bbeck@riotgames.com. He's the CEO of Riot. And Garena are a partner of Riot. Riot choose their partners. I'm sure they like to think they choose them carefully, but I think, enough's enough. Garena have made a lot of fuck-ups, and most of them are ultimately just, you know, just ineptitude, just incompetence. This is something far more malevolent and far more sinister. So if you consider posting a bit of lesbian porn on someone's Facebook, a little bit juvenile, perhaps you can send this letter to the CEO at Riot, Brandon Beck, and in it, it says basically you will not pay for any in-game transactions or purchase any Riot merchandise until Garena give a satisfactory apology and explanation. Not this piecemeal, we've had some great discussion about it. I want to know who made the decision. I want to know why they think that's appropriate. I want to know why they think it's a topic of discussion at all to exclude people. So there's a letter for you there, which I want you to copy and paste. And if you're interested in doing this and actually trying to make a difference, I suggest you do. So that email again is bbeck@riotgames.com.
Wait, you really think that it's Riot's fault?
I think
you're talking to fucking Richard Lewis. In his opinion, it's always fucking Riot's fault. Don't you know anything about him?
Actually, no, I don't think this is Riot's fault. I don't think this is Riot's fault. But here's the point, right? If Riot have a partnership with Garena, okay, so let's say if Business One had a partnership with Business Two, and then Business Two were all found out to be Nazis, and Business One went, well, you know, I mean, they do make great boots though. And that was the end of it. You know, they were official, you know, boot partners, boot creators for that business. And everyone wore these jack boots that were made by, you know, Nazi business too. I don't think I don't think it's completely out of the realms of, reasonableness to reach out to the first business and say, this partnership isn't appropriate. You need to sever ties because I can't in good conscience put money into your product while you're associated with these people. Now, I don't blame Riot for this at all. I'm sure Riot were fucking mortified. This isn't Riot's fault. But one tweet from Riot saying, you know, oh, we're going to try and make all of our partners consistent with our values. That's not good enough. That's not good enough for this. Riot is a company that has said they've got zero tolerance towards homophobia and transphobia. They've said that. If that's true, you've got to make a stand. You've got to say this isn't good enough. And, you know, the people who've made this decision at Garena, Riot either need to say we're going to remove the right from you to use League of Legends or whatever fucking hoops they need to jump through and say we're not going to tolerate this. Because seriously, this is one of the worst things. You know, like in all seriousness now, like, you know, I can have a bit of fun, I can laugh about it. But, you know, I've heard about some bullshit in esports in 10 years, like some real bullshit. But I've never seen anything like that where a company that's partnered with the biggest games company in the world thinks it's okay to discriminate on the basis of your sexuality or gender identity. I can't believe that this is 2015 right now.
All right. I mean, shit. I can't speak on behalf of Riot. All I can say is I am fucking pissed.
Well, you ever been so mad you just sucked a dick? Like,
no, Broken. That's not how it works. You don't just get mad and do it. I'm just like I just you know.
I've seen my ex do it plenty of times. It does happen.
Oh, just oh Lord have mercy.
So
have mercy on my soul.
Right. So there we go. So I don't want to labor the point. And nor do I ever want to get up on a soapbox and tell you guys what to do. But if the issue bothered you in the same way it's bothered Sky, it's bothered me, I'm presuming it's bothered Ram. I mean, you know, Sam kind of got a bit waylaid because he was just staring at the lesbian porn. But if it's bothered you, do try and do something about it. Try and make people realize that this shit isn't going to fly in esports in 2015. And
yeah,
if you
I was just more shocked than anything. I have to say, like, just that point you just made, that it's 2015. Like, yep. I'm so done with that. Like, I'm just shocked that people still care. Like, I'm just tired, like literally tired of people giving a fuck. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's my first initial reaction was actual shock. I thought it was actually a joke, but that people would still want to limit the capability, like limit people, like take away a basic human right to enter that tournament. Like, I don't know, man. I could go on, but I know that your viewers probably want to talk about LCS. I'll just save it for my room.
Well, let's do it. Let's move on to some actual league topics.
Just to start
there you
off, we
Yeah.
got onto a lot of topics on the last show specifically about players, and I just want to say fuck all of you. I was fucking right.
Yep.
Suck my. We already got onto that.
Yeah, we've already done enough.
Yeah, we've already
dick-sucking
done enough dick-sucking.
for one night, I think. But
People
yeah, okay,
all
so
fucking laughed when I went and called that Hooney was gonna be a beast and that Nuke Duck was playing like shit. And guess what fucking happened? Hooney played like a beast and fucking Nuke Duck sucked dick. That's all. I was fucking right. So
well, you said that you felt that Sky, the manager of not
Fly.
Sky, sorry, Fly. Sorry, you got Sky on the brain. He just does
I
that
was
to
like,
me.
Jesus.
Yeah. Fly. You said that he, out and out lied to us, and that Nuke Duck actually wasn't playing well going into.
Because I saw screenshots of fucking scrim results, and 0-10 is not doing well. That is not a successful game.
I don't air somebody out like that. God damn.
I mean, all right, like you
Brutal,
come on
innit?
the show and you just lie, and it makes me look bad. I'm gonna fucking defend myself.
Well,
like-
let's focus on the Fnatic thing. So
All right.
obviously, as everybody knows,
Fnatic. The only big surprise for Fnatic for me was how well Rainover fit in with the team.
yeah,
Rainover does not look like game over at all.
No.
He had a bit of mechanical misplays, missing a skill shot, missing a bola here and there, but besides that, his warding was good, his positioning was good. He definitely looked like a solid part of the Fnatic roster. And it wasn't necessarily any individual person that came out, except for maybe Febiven and his godly snipes. It felt like Fnatic were not only a team of really good individual players, they fucking meshed super well together, which is impressive because they came with two Koreans. Rainover's amazing English doesn't necessarily mean anything besides that, but like they're a team that might not have had so much practice time. They fucking pulled it together, and they're looking like, well, it's pretty much them and SK that are contending for the best team in Europe.
yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by the SK thing, but let's just focus on Fnatic for a while.
Yeah.
Now, I think Rainover has actually been a little bit of an unsung hero in all of this. I think he's done really well. His Rengar play's been very effective. Like you say, apart from a few missed bowlers here and there, he's been really good. And obviously everyone's been talking about Hooney and everything else. I mean, Yellow Star has been an absolute beast as well. Really pulling that bot lane together nicely. I just think this is my point. I still think the way Fnatic went about the off season was completely wrong. Like, I still stand by that. I think that even right up until the start of the season, they were still looking for other players. They obviously didn't have a lot of confidence, and didn't have a plan. And it's almost as if they've been successful despite themselves, not because it was through any great design or anything. I mean, sometimes it's got to be said, you do just get lucky when you pick up players. And there was a lot of people on Reddit, as Reddit people are prone to do. They just went straight in and they were like, oh, well, Fnatic must have the best scouts in the world. This proves it. And it's like, I don't think it does prove it. I think, they've been hugely impressive to begin with, and I'm really happy for them as a team and an organization. But they still went about their offseason was still a clusterfuck, is what I'm trying to say.
Because they were dealing with them. I think you're probably referring to that because of the contract disputes and everything, and trying to hold on to their players. At the end of the day, they came out so fucking far ahead compared to others. Like, let's just be real for a sec. Reckless just recently posted an Ask FM that he was disappointed in what was going on. That's just on the side, and Elements aren't exactly doing so well right now. And like, I'm not even gonna freaking talk about the absolutely god awful game that went between them and Roccat, which Elements eventually did win.
That was hideous.
That game was awful. And besides that, Origin nearly lost to Millennium Spirit today. Like, they were this close from not being in the Challenger Series.
Let's leave that, right? Let's talk about this Reckless
thing. It feels like Fnatic came out so far ahead in every aspect.
Yeah, everything's come out nice for Fnatic. But again, here's what you've got to remember. They've let the best AD carry in Europe, or again, allegedly the best AD carry in Europe. We're not really seeing that at the moment. Go to a rival organization who were at the top of Europe last season. So, that's not a good move. That's like, a top football team selling, well, it's like Liverpool selling Luis Suarez. But instead of selling them to, Barcelona in a different league, you sell them to Manchester United in the same league. And you've got to deal with him scoring goals against you. It's a fairly poor decision. Then on top of that, you've got all this internal stuff where because of the way they handled the Reckless situation, along with some other things, they lose the experience of Cyanide and X-Peke's out. They've got to replace him. They were already going to replace Soaz. They lost so much that their idea of them going forward, I'm not saying it's a fluke because obviously the players have to go out and win and perform and they're doing that. But there is no way you would say that's how you conduct yourself in an off season. So I've got no doubt that Reckless is saying he's a little bit disappointed with elements at the moment. But let's be real here. They've only lost once. I don't know why he's getting so mardy about it so quick.
Because look at the way that Elements are winning. It's a disorganized gameplay. It's a new roster with the same problems. They don't have a shot caller. And maybe they do have a shot caller, but they don't have a good shot caller. Their in-game direction is off. It doesn't look like they have a clear idea of how to close games out. It's basically Reckless, you farm, frog in, land a flash charm, win a team fight, and push the fucking Nexus. That's kind of how...
Sorry, I'm... Sorry.
I didn't realize...
You were going in!
I didn't realize we were in a rap song. I'm fucking rapping, and you're like,
No, you were
I
going
did
in.
think DMX had turned up for a bit there.
I had to give it to you, or else, get up.
No, but it's basically how it is. Like, their shot calling, if they even have a designated shot caller, doesn't seem to be on point, and I feel that that's always been a main problem with Elements. Not individual skill. I know a lot of people are jumping on the fuck Wicked train, but it's actually not really even his fault that much.
He's had some terrible games, though.
Huh?
He's had some terrible games.
He has had some pretty bad games. Yeah. And I will admit that he might have lost his R key when he was playing Gnar against Roccat. Who fucking knew that if you use your ult as Gnar, you'll win a team fight? I didn't. Was really surprised. But I feel that an individual issue is not what's holding Elements back. If they had a solid designated shot caller with clear direction in-game, all of these issues would be solved, and they would at the least be a top 3 team in EU. But it's becoming apparent that they don't have a clear direction of how to play a game.
Sky, I know this is probably... Well, look, dude, I'm gonna ask you, but I'm kind of guessing I predict the answer. Have you been following LCS so far this season?
I mean, I have not been following EU LCS. All I know is NA vaguely, and I know that my boys are losing.
We'll talk about NA as well because there's a lot.
No, I mean, I'm listening. Wait, what?
Who are your boys?
Oh, my babies? Oh, my sweet Cloud9, my sweet boys.
Of course, yes. I keep forgetting about the ultimate dream to get into bed with Meteos that you have.
Yeah, how do you forget? Like, I am the thirstiest nigga out. How are you gonna forget this? Will you continue talking about EU? I'll be the hype man for Brokenshard.
Yeah. You DMX it, make the occasional dog noise or whatever,
So Nuke Duck didn't actually play that bad. I was kind of going over the line there. He didn't perform as well as I hoped. Febiven though. Tilt on Land doesn't exist anymore, it seems.
Dude, he's filled X-Peke's shoes. And filled him so much.
He made the shoes fucking bigger. That's what he did.
Yeah, his feet are just huge.
It's 4 games into the split. It's a little bit early to make any big decisions, but he's on the fucking right track. I mean, it's clear, and not just Febiven. If we're going to talk about the biggest hype of EU, or I think the biggest hype player of all the LCS, Forgiven. It's so funny to see his arrogant, I wouldn't say arrogant is the wrong word, his confident attitude.
Be careful, Reddit's watching.
Yeah, that's right, Reddit's watching. Arrogant is not the right word. His confident nature being praised by so many people when literally a season ago he was getting shit on for literally similar comments. His by far comment, I swear to God, I was sitting going like, whoo! Holy do you know what I'm talking about, Sky? The by far comment?
Please tell me.
So
so I can enjoy this.
Shox pretty much asked him because in an interview, N-Rated said that Forgiven was the best player he'd ever played with. Not best AD, literally best player he'd ever played with. And then Shox said, do you think that you have the most skill in the bot lane? And Forgiven answered, by far. That's it.
Ooh! Get up!
Yeah, he literally, that's 2 words. By far.
Okay, wait. First of all, could we just talk about 2 seconds? I love Shox. I think she's amazingly beautiful, and she confuses my sexuality sometimes. In keeping in subject, I mean, when you say by far, is that shots fired across the world? Like
that is shots fired across the world. That is. I mean, and he's proved it. He hasn't died a single time in 4 games.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. I'll use my limited LCS knowledge. I have to hurt my boy here, but so wasn't there a time when other people didn't die for like 4 games? Didn't Meteos not die for like 17 years or some shit? And then he kind of got frauded out. Did that not happen? I love Meteos to death. I'm just saying when you go 4 games without dying, you talk a big game, you eventually get frauded out. That's what I've seen almost every single, for at least for NALCS, for me.
It's like he hasn't died yet. So I guess the biggest what's it called? Like the next team that kills Forgiven basically becomes the best team in EU. No, not really, but like still 4 games into a split is way too early to tell. But
hell yeah.
One sec. This split 4 games into a split, people are stamping authority. And it's pretty much the newcomers that are stamping their authority. Forgiven, I would actually consider him a newcomer.
Right. I know what you said about him being a newcomer, but like we've said on this show before in the past, and we've talked about this, and I've sat here and said this guy is good. He's that good. The only thing that's ever held Forgiven back from being on a team was his attitude, and that, you know, when things weren't perfect, he isn't the kind of guy to sit there and say, hey, it's all right, guys. Basically, he doesn't embody the Riot way that you're supposed to handle solo queue, you know? Like, oh, yeah, you're playing absolutely dog shit. That's great.
To interject on that, his famous saying is, you could either try hard to be the best or you can suck a cock.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, exactly
what
right.
What the hell is up with...
I know,
his words, not mine.
That actually is a quote, though. That actually is a quote. He did really say
what is up with all these players' affinities for just gargling dick? Like, I don't get it.
Like, you've obviously missed the boat, man. Like, you could have been in hog heaven.
Yeah, I really don't understand why that's the cool thing now.
Come to EU. That's what we're all doing. All the kids are doing it, Sky.
Oh yeah. All right.
Forgiven for me, he was always going to be amazing. Like the idea that he wasn't going to be any good was insane. And I said he would be right up there and be one of the top AD carries in Europe. And now everyone who was like writing him off and saying, oh, he spent some time away and, you know, it's not going to work out for him. Those same people are now coming back and saying, oh, yeah, we all knew. It's like, none of you knew. Nobody gave this guy a chance. Everyone said that, you know, he had big shoes to fill with replacing fucking, you know, Candy Panda and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, would he be able to do it? And what would happen if he went on tilt and his attitude wasn't right? I mean, hell, like, you've seen how he's tried really hard and he's bedded in with the team. And he's dropping bombs. And, you know, even though it is only 4 games and it's a long season, as we all know, he'll be right up there by the end of the season. He always had that potential. He always had that ability to be this good. It's just he's never had... I know. The best thing that could have happened to him was what Copenhagen Wolves did by effectively, you know, benching him, you know, teaching him a bit of humility, and then no one else was willing to pick him up. And, you know, he was vaguely... He was linked
teaching
with, like...
humility?
Yeah.
They didn't teach him very well, it sounds like.
No, but I mean, I guess, okay, so there's a difference between being modest and you know, it's not full arrogance, I think, to say, you know, that, oh, I am the best bot lane right now. I think actually he's got a good point. You know, and I'm sure what you're supposed to say is something along the lines of, you know, you're supposed to be modest and say, oh, well, actually, yeah, you know, I'm playing really well, but I don't know if I'm the best. Tee-hee-hee, and like, you know, just laugh it off. I think that's what you're supposed to do. But he's not doing that. But I don't think he's being like monstrously arrogant like he used to be. And he's not blaming his team. What he was doing before when he was at Copenhagen Wolves was he was saying, he even tweeted this. He said, sick and tired of always winning lane but losing games. You know,
I mean, that's just
the when you
that's,
play
that's the solo queue mantra.
When you play Caitlyn, when you play Caitlyn Karma every fucking game, of course you're gonna win lane. Like, let's be real here for a sec. But it basically was true. Like, Forgiven destroyed bot lane every game with Unlimited, and Copenhagen will end up losing the game. And there's actually a lot to talk about EU LCS right now because a lot of different storylines for teams coming into the game are either going in the right direction or in the completely different direction. Take one example. Giants going 2-2 when they were a team that everyone thought was just going to fucking flounder.
They got problems around. I was going to ask you about this because these are like your boys, right? You know these guys.
I know Rydell. I've known Rydell for a long time, and the thing is that I was also interacting with them when they qualified all the way back in spring under a new lineup, and this is the exact same issue that they had when they first qualified all the way back in spring, like 2 years ago. Lack of preparation, lack of responsibility, getting the guys a good gaming house. Like, Giants definitely don't seem like a very competent organization. But the team, though, going 2-0 in the first week, when everyone expected to go to last. Yeah. And even then, Gambit not winning a single game when they just got off a win of IEM Cologne. Everyone was expecting Gambit to not do this shit. Let's be honest here.
One of the things that I thought was particularly interesting about the Giants situation. Okay, so I got a tweet, and it was obviously from a Spanish fan, or I don't know, and I didn't quite get it. And it just went something like, "Richard, Giants fans need you. Help Giants. They have nowhere to play or nowhere to train," or something. They said, and I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like, come on over to my house.
Do what you always do.
Blame
Riot. Blame Riot.
Yeah, blame Riot. But no, so I was like, what do you mean? How can I help? And I realized there was no way to frame that to somebody who maybe didn't speak English as a first language. Like, you know, what do you want me to do about it? Like, that's how it would come across. But what I was really saying was actually, what do you want me to do about it? You know, it was like that. But so I didn't tweet back. And then it appeared on Reddit, and it's like, apparently they're in a house with no internet connection, no PCs, and they're having to go to like LAN cafes and try and get 5 computers together, and they're playing on not so great net, and obviously it's not in an optimal setting. It's costing them money. So yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare, and I don't know. Giants haven't come forward and said anything about this because obviously it's a little bit embarrassing. But I think it makes the fact that they've gone 2-2, you know, all the more astounding. You know, like, what an achievement when, you know, you've got this piss poor preparation going on in the background. Killed that conversation.
Yeah, killed it.
Well, yeah, bro. I mean, again, when you talk about EULCS right now, I just gotta sit and be like, yeah. I got to give you that, you know, that nice those and of disapproval. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Are you gonna raise your finger like a sassy black woman?
See, that's what I'm talking about. That shit right there is what I'm talking about, bro. Yeah, I can't get away from it.
Yeah, you have to understand, man. We can't. We've tried socializing Ram. We have tried socializing him. And do you know what? I'm gonna let you in on a secret, okay? When I first got offered to start this show, basically what happened was Nintendo dude, he reached out to me and he said, "I got this friend. Do you know him? Brokenshard. He's in the EU scene. He's in the NA scene, and he's just a mess when it comes to people. It just doesn't really work. It doesn't click. And he says these things, and it's like whenever he starts getting to know somebody, it's almost like a form of Tourette's." Like, he'll just say the worst thing that is to say. Like, you know, if they're black, he'll blurt something out like fried chicken, or whatever. And it's really awkward. And I said, man, Josh, I know him. I think he's cool. I've never noticed that. And he went, nah, he does it all the time, bro. And I went, all right. And he went, well, here's the thing. I think it would get better if we started a show. And I went, okay, right. And he went, so what we do is we don't tell Ram. We have him on. He hosts the show. And you introduce him to more and more diverse and unique people, and you put him in these new social situations. And eventually,
one day,
it'll iron out, and he won't just blurt out fried chicken, you know.
17 episodes later, or 15, it looks like that just has not worked.
In many ways, I think the First Blood experiment has failed. So I'm sorry I had to find out that way, Ram, but
damn. I don't even know if this is true, but damn.
No, I'm just trying.
Are you though? That sounded pretty damn real.
Or am I? No, but I am enjoying looking at Ram's face right now. It's.
Oh, I gotta pull a Skype. Let me see.
It's like.
Well.
Yeah. It's like that scene in The Simpsons where Ralph gets dumped by Lisa. And Bart's rewinding the video, and he goes, "Look, you can see the moment where his heart breaks." And it's just like that. We love you, Ram. But anyway, come on, let's get back to EUL.
have an ignorant opinion that I need your help correcting.
All right.
If you don't feel like, or if he doesn't feel like coaches are good, what about what about Loco?
Here. Oh, I personally think 99% of coaches in league are useless. There can be good coaches, but most don't understand how.
Okay.
That's what he said.
I mean, I don't really know anything about Loco Doco's coaching, but I mean, I think
I think everyone accepts Loco Doco actually is good.
And Nick too, like that boy. Even on my stream, he brought me to Diamond too.
And Brokenshard?
Brokenshard, nigga, you don't do shit. You just talk about dicks all the time. Shut your ass up.
But like seriously though, like Last Shadow's good, Loco's good. I think people recognize their talents. That's why they get work. That's why they get associated.
Fuck you, man.
What? You like a Mexican basketball looking ass nigga? Why are you even talking? Bye. You trying to?
Are we?
I will get you on your own stream.
Are we fucking roasting each other now?
If I'm going out, I'm going out with a fight. You talk about all this EU league shit. Keep me out in the dark. I'm gonna roast you.
It's not that hard to keep you in the dark. Close the lights and smile, and I'll know exactly where you are.
Oh, you want to get roasted right now?
I will fuck you up. I swear to God. I know you talk. I know you talk.
How do children settle their disputes these days? Do you kids still rap battle? Does that happen?
Rap battle.
I'd much rather have a dance off.
I'm not fucking dancing. I am not fucking dancing. Even though I could probably outdance the shit out of Sky.
This nigga talking the most shit, looking like a side character on an after-school special. Nigga, shut your ass up. You talking all that good shit. Oh my God.
So,
Sky, you about as relevant as my workout program. Like, God's sake, shut the fuck up.
Hello, nigga. What are your Twitter followers? 4 digits, nigga. Shut your ass up. Brokenshard 2 retweets on a life-changing story. This boy right here.
Right. So, League.
No. We keep going, Sky.
No. Listen, we've all had a drink. Okay. We've all had a drink, lads. Come on, we're better than this. I don't even know where we were. Yeah, Saint Vicious is right. That's where we're at. Most coaches are just
nigga looking like a before picture from like a Jenny Craig commercial. Like I don't know why you even talking.
Right. Saint.
Okay. I'm roasting you after this stream. You're done.
Saint
back on track.
Right. He's right. I think most coaches are actually like just ex-players that are just hanging on, man. It's just free ride central, isn't it? You know, like organizations like, you remember that guy we used to play with back in the day? He's shit now. He can't play now, but he was a good guy, wasn't he? We all had a laugh. We all had good times. We've all had a drink. We'll bring him in, and he can just hang out and get a salary for just hanging out. And I think that's the attitude of a lot of organizations, actually. You know, the players all go to the manager and strong arm them. They go, we need a coach. And you go, okay, well, I'll go get us a real coach then. And they go, no, we know the guy. Who's the guy? Shit player from season 1. All right, cool. And then he comes and they all hang out and it's a treehouse. And that's pretty much how it works. So I kind of agree with Saint a little bit on this one. I'm not convinced by a lot of these coaches. I did an interview with a sports coach and sports psychologist called Robert Yip, who's been involved in esports, and he's done kind of pro bono work for many organizations, including like Team Liquid players and stuff. And he says he's horrified actually by how ill-equipped some of these people are, and the recruitment methods of some of these organizations because it's just like, let's go get a Korean, and they don't even look at the credentials.
That seems to be the quick fix for a lot of teams.
And when the Korean doesn't work, it's like, hi, we'd like to return this Korean. It's defective.
I think that you can't think of Koreans as commodities, bro.
No, but it's the joke. It's the fucking joke that when a Korean doesn't work out, it's like we'd like to exchange him for a Korean that actually works. Like that's kind of how it is. It's like,
so you saying they got no work ethic?
No, can you shut the fuck up?
Oh, Reddit. Not only does Brokenshard think Koreans are a commodity, but they have no work ethic. Reddit, tweeting it, posting it.
Yep, do it.
Fuck.
You get it.
Confirmed
up there.
racist.
No.
Bye.
It's I
But
think.
Ram, you're a coach now. You're a coach.
No,
now.
I'm not. I'm actually
Yeah,
a
you are.
player. No, I'm a jungler.
Yeah, but let's be real for a second. You're a coach now.
No, I
And-
jungle. I play the game professionally.
Yeah, but we all play the game, Ram. We all play the game. But your primary work is going to be coaching.
No, I'm playing the fucking game. I'm jungling.
Richard, you have to understand when people don't like to admit that they're coaches, they just don't. It's you just because when you coach, it's like when they say like when you can't do, teach. People don't like to admit that they can't do, especially in league. So just give it to him. He plays in the jungle.
Sky, listen, come at me any day of the fucking week. I play with my eyes closed, cosplay Lee Sin in real life, and I will shit all over your fucking chest in game.
Brokenshard.
Can we make this happen?
Brokenshard.
Me.
How do we
You
Brokenshard.
cannot
how do we
touch
prove who's
me.
the better player? How do we prove
Brokenshard.
who's the
I got no.
Brokenshard.
Listen, Sky.
Okay, you know what?
you
Yeah,
are-
I'm gonna listen.
You are
fucking,
sitting in
you
comfy
fucking
California.
Ralph-looking ass nigga right now.
You sitting in comfy California. My brother's getting pissed at me now.
You just got told to shut up by your brother, nigga. That's how free you are. You have your brother popping off at you at your own damn house. You ain't even grown to live on your own. You live with your bruh,
Hold on 1 second.
bruh.
Hold on.
Bro,
one
with that
fucking
haircut, you
second.
look like you live in the jungle. I don't know why I'm even dealing with you. Fucking looking like Bubble Bass right now. I don't know why you even trying to get at me.
Listen, 1 fucking second, Sky. All right.
If you would like to continue,
I've
we can
made-
turn this from first blood.
Yeah, I have made.
I will roast
Sky,
the shit out of you.
Sky,
What?
I have made LCS more times than you've made it into Diamond. All right.
Is that even true?
Yes, I've made LCS 3 times on 3 different teams.
And what happened, boo? And played 2 games, got benched, broke it, got it.
Sam, you're a producer. Stay out of it.
I'm too hype. Put me in.
First off, I live on
This
my own.
Wario looking ass.
You don't.
You look like a cross between Waluigi and Wario. This nigga look like the Bowser.
Oh. Down. I thought it was over. I thought that was it. Did Ram kill the call?
Yeah, I think he got mad at me. I thought he was down with the roast, man. That's how we do it, man. Oh, that's how we do it here. I didn't know that he would actually get mad. He called me irrelevant. I was like, all right, I gotta go in.
Oh my god.
He called
Right,
he called me irrelevant. I thought we were playing. Man, now he's all mad at me.
No. He'll be back. Ram can take it. Let's get back. Are we on air?
Are we still on the air? Man,
what has this show become though?
His
What
brother told him to shut up. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
I'm just saying, like, man,
Wario, man, that fucking did me. That did me, dude.
What, man? I feel bad now. I didn't mean to do it. I thought we was having fun, and then it turned into something way more serious.
Nah, he went. He's definitely not left because he went down earlier. Do you remember when we were doing the pre-show?
No, read the Skype chat.
No, there isn't a Skype chat. Oh right, yeah, he's left. Okay, well, back to NALCS. I
The ship sailed, bro.
Counterlogic Gaming. They've had a good start to the season, Sky. They're 3-1. Link's in the weekly MVPs at the top of his game, despite being criticized for being the weak Link. And a lot of people didn't give them much hope this season, but there they are, right up at the top of the table, level with Gravity, obviously, we've just talked about, and leveled with TSM. You said that, you're a big Counterlogic fan, that, you're not a fan, I suppose, obviously Cloud9, short team, but have you been following Counterlogic this season?
Sorry, man. I just typed the Brokenshard. I just couldn't believe it. Sorry. CLG has been. I haven't been following them too much, but I am going to be working with them. In trying to produce better content. I guess like just YouTube stuff. They asked me to go over to their house and like just make videos with them. I haven't been keeping up with them in the pro scene too much though. It's really only been Cloud9 and TSM. Everybody in my house plays League, so they will constantly talk about, the games that are going on.
Yeah.
But sorry, I just lost my train of thought.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I mean, I think it's interesting because I was talking to a CLG fan yesterday on my other show, Trash Talk, who called in, and they were saying, it's like it'd been an abusive relationship being a CLG fan. Like every time they start doing goods, you think, oh, it's all going to be all right. It's all going to be fine. And then, you're going home with black eyes again. So I think that's kind of how it is for CLG. Like they've started strong in the past. And I think that right now, I'm still not convinced they're the real deal. I still think they've got all the same problems underlying. And when things start going bad and they lose a few games, I think they'll end up suffering.
I agree. All I can do is sit here and... Oh, is somebody else join?
Yeah, Kubz, right?
Do I?
I don't know,
Yeah,
Sky.
you probably still.
Okay, no, Sky. Okay, so last split at LCS, we played Cloud9, week 6, and you walked up too high and you were like, good luck, man. And I stood there and I was like, really, man? Like right in front of us?
What? What? I love high.
I know. I was just messing with you.
What am I supposed to... I know, nigga, I got you. I love high. Dude, actually, I think the grimiest thing I've ever done was like, I didn't even mean to do this, but I think it was, it must have been Cloud9 versus TSM. I think TSM won, and I was like, hey, good shit, Bjergsen, right? And then like, Meteos is walking into his room, like the dressing room, like right when I say that, and then I look at him and I'm just like, I know it's not what it looks like, right? But it was too late. It was too fucking late.
You see, Richard, this is the beauty of First Blood. Things change
Well,
just like that.
That it's an absolute clusterfuck, and the host has no control whatsoever over the guests. And
Well,
I don't even know what's going on right now. Like I'm looking at the stream, it's just that fucking technical problems page. I don't even know. Are we on air? What's going on? Yeah, obviously, I fucking hope so.
I hope real talk. I mean, I hope Ram's okay, man.
Yeah,
dude, no, man. Okay, we were having
fine.
fun.
It was a joke, yeah.
It was a joke, and I thought that the reason why he got mad. He told me on Skype is that he lives in an apartment, and I made fun of his living situation. Nigga, I live with 20 people. Like, I don't know. I live with 20 people. I'm ugly as shit. I'm huge. I'm an elephant. Like, there's so many avenues. My roommates call me, and I'll say it again, a ghetto Barney looking ass Mr. Potato Head nigga. Like that is what I get it. Littlefoot, I get it all the time. They roast the hell out of me. Ignatius from Cat Dog, like
I'm just gonna say this: the lesson learned: you do not go one-on-one with Sky Williams in a roast off.
No.
That is all.
But what I said wasn't even like that bad, man.
Ah, it was good. I liked it. I thought it was funny.
But now Reddit's gonna come in. I'm a giant bully, and now I just can't even return to League. Now I feel so shitty.
Well, that was my plan all along, Sky, because
you trickster.
No, what it is everything I said about Black Canola at the start of the show was bullshit. He's actually paid me a lot of money to basically destroy you, so he can remain the solo black guy. And
now everybody's gonna. Now I'm a bully. Everybody fucking hates me. Brokenshard is gonna. I'm done. Fuck, man. I guess I just can't roast anybody. Nah. But I was having fun. Like, look, Kubz. Like, I think that you are an attractive guy. But I was gonna roast you. I can't. I'm afraid.
It's okay.
But look, you didn't. What do I do? Stream chat? What do I do?
You
Look.
can roast. People
Yeah, we're
want
fine,
me
we're
to
fine.
be roasted, Sky.
It's
You don't
first blood.
understand.
Everyone's been
Green
fucking roasted on this fucking show.
You have green light, man. I'm just really
Yeah,
bad
it's
at
fine. It's
this
fine.
culture.
Let's get back. So actually, Kubz, I'm glad that you're here because you're a coach, right?
Good joke, man. Good joke.
No. But you were.
Nobody wants to be
I-
called a coach, dude. I'm telling
Well,
you.
Okay,
I
for being
love
serious,
it.
I
I'd
mean-
love to be called a coach.
Yeah, it was, and kind of still is my job, I suppose.
There we go. So CLG at the top of joint top of the NALCS table. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking they've not really made. I mean, with the exception of obviously Zion Spartan, I don't think they've made a lot of changes. I think all the problems that were there last season are still there, still have the potential to be there. What have they done differently that's put them on top this season, or is this just a good start and there's a chance the wheels can come falling off?
There's two possible scenarios with CLG. Obviously, the first one, which I think is funny, is the false hope from their little wheel that Monte left with them. But I think with Xmithy coming back and Zion coming in, Skara is a really, really good coach. And what he did with Dignitas really well last split is they really knew how to play the map almost to perfection, almost at TSM's level. TSM's on their own level with Cloud9 in terms of map play. But Dignitas was a very good team in terms of pressuring the map and all that sort of thing. So with CLG now, Zion's just a much stronger player than Seraph, first of all. Right? He's going to draw jungle pressure away from their bottom lane, right? Afro and Double Lift are still going to get jungle pressure, but they're not going to be the only lane worth keeping kind of an eye on. Then you look at Link and the Hearthstone jokes, whatever. Link's just always had this thing of inconsistency where he has, really good streaks and really bad streaks. And right now Link's playing pretty well, but if we're being honest, I think a lot of their wins have been based off superb play by Afromu, really good team fighting and just really good control of the map. They really have controlled the map, secured really good vision, good objective control, and they're just out rotating other teams and picking, great fights. And again, Afro's hitting these great hooks, great bindings. That Blitzcrank is just so nasty when they did the ballistic combo.
Yeah, but fuck Blitzcrank. Come on, dude.
But I mean, Afro's been playing out of his mind, and he's creating these picks on the map, and CLG's using these picks to create, to take objectives on the map or to put pressure somewhere. But they're just playing all around a lot better, and just with a more experienced top laner in Zion Spartan, it's kind of made the team gel together. And Xmithy has played phenomenally for someone who, was written off after the XTG catastrophe. This is a guy who in the summer of 2013 was he was in contention with Meteos for the best jungler in North America. He had great synergy with his mid laner. ManCloud led the LCS in kills that split. And Xmithy, go ahead, Sky.
A quick interjection. Hey, Richard.
Hey, Sky.
Chat sounds like they really want Dexter.
I see the spam. I don't know if Dexter. I mean, I know Marcel. He's more than welcome.
I think that
come on if
he's yeah. How about let's swap out? Why don't we get Dexter instead of me? I think that'd be very more relevant to the topic. And I think that I like to give my fans what they want. Well, these aren't my fans; they're your fans. So I think I should give them what they want. Let's have Dexter come in.
All right. And okay. Well, look, man. I know you're on a schedule anyway. We fucking ran over as we always do on the show. So yeah, maybe that's not a bad idea. Maybe we can get Dexter on. I'll try and drag him up. But just a few final words, brother, before you head off. Then, and we'll get back to the topic for another 20 minutes or so. Sure. What's going on with you in League then? Where can we see you next? What are you going to be doing? Well, when's the apology video Aram coming out?
Fuck, that's oh my god. I have
kidding,
mixed feelings.
dude.
I have mixed. No. I'm like furious because if you're gonna like be on a show where you literally just get to tell other players and shit that they're bad, like, and then I don't know. I'm not into the drama. I don't care anymore. I really want to let it all blow over because I know that the Reddit's gonna hate me, and again, then it's gonna be
Fuck
stupid.
Reddit.
So no, not fuck Reddit. You have to love Reddit, even though Reddit is hard to deal with. They're the ones that gave you the exposure. They're the ones that make.
Don't
the
feed their fucking egos. Don't fuck them.
No, it's true. Reddit is
No,
the
it
one.
ain't.
Reddit are the
No,
people
it
that
ain't.
made me who I am. Anyway, okay.
I'd make my money if Reddit didn't exist. Give a
Re-
fuck about Reddit.
Well, I care about Reddit a lot. So in keeping in subject though, I'm gonna be streaming more, and I'm gonna hopefully be, making more videos. Definitely streaming more because I just miss everybody. And leading up to PAX East, I have to make sure that I'm not completely irrelevant. So yeah, that's another thing. But you'll see me streaming probably later on tonight or tomorrow. You'll definitely see a video this Friday about female streamers, and that's about it,
Uh-oh.
guys.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, I'm going in really hard.
Holy shit. Okay, well, look, Sky, thanks for coming on the show.
No problem,
Big fan, Sky.
It's been a
Thanks.
crazy show, no doubt about it, and I really appreciate your time. And no doubt we'll see you on again sometime in the future. I look forward to seeing this video about female streamers. All the best.
All right. Well, thank you so much, dude. I'll talk to you guys later. Okay. Thanks
Yeah,
for
no
having
doubt,
me, and
man.
thanks everybody for listening. Love you guys.
Love
Okay,
you,
bye.
Sky.
Bye.
Richard, this is the Royal Rumble match, man. Why didn't you advertise this on Reddit?
What the fuck is going on tonight, dude?
It's
Now everyone's saying get Dexter in. So
I love Dexter, man. Talked to him a little bit at the LCS last split. Great guy. Great guy.
I messaged him now. He says he doesn't even have a webcam, so Sky just left for nothing. So now it's just
But no one's gonna want to watch this. Reddit's
well,
gonna be
no,
like,
but this is good. Do you know it's like the way I look at this show tonight is Kubz. It's like a party. Okay, it starts out great and amazing, and there's drinks and there's fun and there's frolics and there's women and or guys if that's your thing or whatever, and everyone's having a great time. And then one by one, the successful drift away, and then it gets to the end of the night, 4 a.m. People who can barely keep their eyes open, barely talk. What are you doing, man? Let's get some more beer, man. We're those guys. We're the assholes at the end of a
God.
party. So
no,
that's
man.
cool.
Richard, we're the cool people that everyone wants to. No, I'm kidding. No one wants to hang out with us. Come on.
Nah, yeah, let's be real for a second. Like, no one
I think
actually
you
wants to
should-
spend any time with us.
I think you should bring Dexter in. I think we
Well,
can.
I want to, but he says he doesn't have a webcam. He says he's gonna find one. So I mean,
Dexter's coming, boys. He's coming.
yeah, well, I hope so. I hope so. If not, we'll put a picture of him. We'll use a pic.
This is the most intense production I've ever done in my life.
Oh, I know, man. Look at that micro.
Sam, I missed you, buddy. I missed you.
Miss
Yeah,
you
well,
too.
It's been a while.
Yeah, we've missed you too as well, man. So anyway, back to the CLG situation. I was surprised as well to see Link right up there in the statistically in the most valuable players, had a great performance in mid because people were still criticizing him actually, and I did. I was like, it was really weird. I don't know what it is. I watch his games, and is he doing something that I can't see because I'm shit? But it doesn't seem all that.
I think
you know what I
with
mean?
Link- Yeah, no, I hear you, but I think Dexter, if he actually gets on here, can chime on this. But I feel like Link's synergy with Xmithy is just a lot better than it was with Dexter already. And I think that synergy, at the IEM, it was still work in progress. They were still kind of getting to feel each other out. But I think now that they've gotten time, don't underestimate the amount, like how quick you can synergize when you're living in a house scrimming so much together. I think one thing Xmithy brings, he historically has always had great synergy with all his mid laners, so I think that was something we could expect. And I think Link overall is also just not doing Link things, right? He's not getting caught out. He's not mispositioning. He's not, making plays that are too risky. He's just playing a very smart play style, very just like what you'd expect from an LCS player on a consistent basis. And he's also just having really strong laning phases, oddly enough. And I think Link, you remember at one point Link was the player people labeled as someone who could be the best player in North America if he wasn't in school. And so I think that might have died down a little bit, but I think Link's just playing the way he can play and the way he should be playing consistently. I think he's where he should be, and I think it's not a surprise that he's finally at some point been able, and it took Skara to tap into the potential of Link and kind of help him come out. But I think Xmithy's played a huge part in that as well.
So I think we're getting Dexter in. Marcel,
Hello.
can you hear me?
Marcel.
Here he is.
I can hear you, yeah. Hello?
Awesome. Guten Tag and
Guten Tag.
V Gates and all of that good stuff. So Let's start. We're talking about CLG now. I know, obviously, you've never really talked too much about your time there because you are a model
Yeah.
professional. So I don't want to put you in a in a similar situation to what we've already had today, where everything's jumping off, everything's crazy, anything goes. It's been a real anarchic show. But I mean, I guess, are you surprised to see CLG doing so well this season? Because ultimately, the players they brought in, for me. I guess what I'm saying is I'm surprised they're performing so well.
I'm not sure. It can go either way, you know. Either it works out for them and they have a strong showing, or it doesn't work out for them and they don't get better. But I guess just Aframu just playing his game again, and that's why CUG is looking so good, because Aframu was always the best player on the team by far. And as you can see, I think he's just on his game right now, and he carries a lot of that stuff. Like, if he has a good game, he talks a lot in game and carries over all the communication, and everyone is happy and everything. And it's probably what's happening in CLG right now, that Aframu is just playing good. He's doing all the calls, and everyone seems to be happy and in a really good mood. And I guess that's pretty much the main reason why CLG is doing so good. Yeah.
I have a question though. What do you think about Link and his performance so far? Because I know from an outsider perspective, what do you think about Link so far this season? Because,
Uh,
from watching last split to this split, it seems quite different.
I think he hasn't really shown much, to be honest. I mean, in the games where he carried or something, his laning phase is still the same, I believe. But yeah, just if your overall team play is better, and if you move the map a bit better, like Aframu and Xmithy do, then your mid laner will shine too, because the team fight, like this the team fights you engage and the catches you make in the jungle. And if you look at all the games, Link wasn't really doing anything special in lane. He just was farming up, and then someone got caught out in the jungle or something, and he gets his first kill on Cassiopeia. He buys his first item, and it just kind of snowballed from there. So I'm not sure if he actually got better or not, but in first week I wasn't really so convinced by his performance. And his Lissandra play was alright in later stages of the game, but in the early stage it was still the same. But yeah, I think he's doing fine right now, and I'm not sure if it keeps on going, but we will just see how the split develops pretty much.
It's interesting. I mean, it must be weird. Like, what have you made of Xmithy's performance? Because obviously you're a former CLG jungler. That's what I'm really interested about. Kubz was just saying, well, he thinks they've got more synergy going on. Do you agree with that, or is Kubz being an asshole?
I love you, Dexter.
I mean,
you know that.
It's a sensitive topic. No matter what I say about the form, like the jungle right now, it gets interpreted in a very bad way. But I don't think he did that good, to be honest, or has a lot of impact. He just did his job. He wasn't doing bad. He wasn't doing good either. He's just doing what he's supposed to do. His early game, he just provides a lot of vision, does some good stuff, but I wasn't really like convinced by a good performance or something. But yeah, he's doing his job and it's working out. I mean, they're 3-1 right now and at the top of the standings, so they must be doing something right,
Yeah, but I mean, CLG historically has these flashes of villains. I remember last split, you guys were up top, middle of the season, and then shit hit the fan. So I kind of agree with Dexter in saying like it's a good start, and Afro's a huge catalyst for that. But I think the concern I think we both share is like, is it going to be consistent? Because CLG historically, yeah, go ahead.
I think every jungler in NA looks like really shaky right now in terms of just overall performance. I mean, even Meteos is it's very hard to judge the jungler right now because it's way too early to tell how good the jungler is, and I didn't really see enough of all the junglers yet to really judge if he's that good, if he's just on the same level as everyone else, or if he's doing bad. It's very hard to tell. It's only like 4 games,
Yeah,
so I just have to see more. Yeah, it just needs more games to actually judge how good of a player is, because so far we haven't really seen him play from behind. And CLG has like you just have to see how he performs in losing games, like what he can do in order to make some plays when he's behind, or how does he play when he actually plays at a disadvantage. That's some really like big things that you have to keep in mind when judging a jungler skill, because everyone can play a jungler when you're ahead or when your team is doing well. You know, it's so easy to play jungle. Like you could just take like a Diamond 1 player, put him in an LCS team, and if all 3 lanes are doing fine, then the jungler will do fine too. You know, it's very easy for jungler to just perform and do his job when the team is winning. I mean, the best example is probably like TSM. Like Santorin is playing well. He didn't die a single time, I think, but he didn't do anything else. He just did his job, you know. And yeah, just too hard to judge a jungler right now in the current meta. It just, if your team plays well, you will do well too.
I think the testament of a strong jungler sorry, Richard, just before anything.
No, you jump in, brother.
Yeah, so Dexter's saying it correctly. Like when you're behind, that's where it really shows the better junglers. Because when you're ahead, you can go get all the vision, you can play really aggressive, control their jungle, walk around. But then when you're behind and the pressure's on you and you have to kind of take pressure back and try to create picks and make plays, that's where you'll see where the better junglers are in NA right now. I think with only 4 games, all the games have been, there've been a couple close ones. Most of the junglers who are looking good have been in control. And for CLG, they don't even play TSM until next week. This week they have Winter Fox and Gravity. So I think next week will be the real test for that roster to see if they are better than TSM.
So while we're talking about that, here's what I wanted to pick Dexter's brains about: the Santorin effect. Everyone's been raving about his performances. I think he's done well. The statistics certainly bear it out. Team Solo made a joint top, 3 wins and 1 loss, and he's been allegedly, I would say, obviously a big driving force about it. I'm not gonna necessarily go along with the circle jerk, although I do think he's played incredibly well. What do you think, Dexter, as a fellow European that's played in the NALCS? How well is Santorin doing for TSM?
I think Amazing is probably a lot better than him. I'm not sure right now, but if you compare those 2 players, Amazing is actually like a super good jungler, and when he carried that team like super hard, because all he had to do was just camp mid lane, and then Bjergsen would take over the game. And right now it's just the same as in TSM. If Bjergsen can get that small lead, then he will just carry the entire team pretty much. I'm not saying that the others are playing bad or something, but Bjergsen's just so much better than any other mid laner in the jungle, in the LCS right now in NA, and it's really tough to play against Bjergsen too, because once he gets a kill, I don't know, when we scrimmed TSM, it was always like Bjergsen just farming up for like 10 minutes, and then he gets a small lead and completely snowballs the game. And I kind of see the same way right now with TSM, that if Bjergsen does well, then TSM is winning, and if Bjergsen doesn't do so well, then TSM will lose. But I'm not sure how to judge Santorin based on the games. I mean, he did his job, and Local Doka probably did like a really, really good job of helping him out and making sure he has everything he needs, and jungle pathing and how to build correctly. And so I would actually give a bit of props to like Local Doka for forming him into the jungler that the team wants. And we just have to see how it works pretty much.
When you're molding a jungle,
I'm going to ask you, Kubz, to give your thoughts on the Santorin effect, speaking as a coach.
When you have a jungler, it kind of varies, but I think with TSM, it's been very set in stone with all the junglers they've had, their playstyle. And what Loco does really well is he fits Santorin and molded him into the style of jungler that best suits TSM's playstyle. And that is to, get a lead on Bjergsen, put an aggressive style down, get some vision control, and just do the job that every jungler needs to do in the early game. And I mean, Dexter said it, Bjergsen's probably the best mid laner with a lead. Like if he gets a small advantage, that mid lane becomes, if a lane's volatile and Bjergsen gets a kill, that lane's over. You're not going to come back in that lane. It's a very huge asset TSM has. And so to allocate pressure to the mid lane to make sure Bjergsen's safe, gets through his laning phase, gets the advantage he needs, and then using that strength to TSM to propel them into the mid game, create picks, control vision, I think it's telling. And when you get ahead, when Bjergsen is getting ahead in these games, Santorin's not dying. He's getting assists, he's getting gold, and he's getting the items. And he's just doing his job. I do think Amazing is a better jungler just based on the 4 games, right? It's a small sample pool, but based on that, I do think Amazing is a stronger jungler. But time will tell, and I think Santorin's done the best job you can ask for from a new jungler coming into this situation. You know, he had a great performance at IEM when the team was having, had a pretty poor performance. Coming to the LCS, he's performed consistently, and he had a really good week. And if he can keep building off of that, I think he can rise the ranks as a jungler in terms of, the rankings within NA.
The question is, what junglers did he actually play in all games? If I might ask. I don't remember every single game.
He's played Jarvan, Lee Sin. He's played the standard strong ones. I think he played a Rek'Sai game.
I was going to say he played Rek'Sai.
I remember the Rek'Sai game. That was like alright. But the thing is, if you just play Jarvan, it's just normal that you just get a lot of assists and
the flag assists. You just toss the E down and
it's just 3 KDA. Yeah, you just have to toss your flag down and you just collect every single assist. But yeah, you're right. He played Rek'Sai. I saw that game. I remember.
I know it's probably a bit early to say, but based on the 4 games, do we think Team Solo Mid are the strongest NA team still, or has that changed?
I guess I can go ahead, Dexter. You can start off.
No, you can go. I mean, I don't know.
It's a small sample size, I think, is the problem when you make these judgment calls. But from watching the 4 games, one thing, and I got to watch this firsthand 4 times last split. If you're playing a passive play style against TSM, farming out, trying to get to maybe a late game, or just to power spikes, and you're playing extremely passive, TSM is the best team at abusing the passive play style and controlling the game. And I think an advantage they've had is if you look at the teams they've played. There were 2 games. I don't remember which teams, but 2 games the enemy team was extremely passive against them. And for TSM, that's a walk in the park. They know how to use passive play style to snowball and accelerate the game for their advantage. And so I think when you base off how TSM has played so far against their opponents, they're looking strong. And it's kind of weird. Everyone talks about how CLG and TSM are looking really strong, and it is true. But I think for TSM, if these results are consistent over the next week or 2, considering when they play, CLG, Cloud9, all those teams again, I think the next 3 weeks are going to determine if they are truly the best team in NA, because right now they do look like the strongest. And I would put CLG as a 1B, maybe like 2% below TSM right now, but I think it's close. And I think Cloud9 will come back into that discussion as the season progresses.
Any thoughts to add to that, Dexter?
I mean, TSM is probably gonna finish top 3 no matter what, because it's just how the team operates. And if they have a bad week, they make sure that they don't have another bad week, and they put in the practice. Like TSM was the team that put in the most practice out of any team last split. If they had no off days, they practiced on Monday too. They started at 12, whereas other teams started on 2, and they ended at like 10. So they had like 8 hours of scrims, which is a lot.
It was ridiculous, yeah.
They put in so much work to actually like be where they were, and yeah, if things are not going so well, then they will put in the work again, and they make sure that they are gonna finish top 3 at least. So that's something I would say that TSM, no matter what, would probably finish top 3, and it doesn't really depend on like how all the roles play, but it just TSM, like the team play overall is just how their team fight and how they control the map right now. It's just the best out of any team probably. Like if you look at Cloud9, I was very, very shocked actually by their picks and bans. And TSM always has good drafts, If you look at all the drafts, TSM always has solid drafts. You don't see them fuck up like any other team. And
that's the Loco effect, isn't it, right?
Their pick bans are very well thought out, precise, I think, is the big thing.
I mean, picks and bans right now are probably like at least 70% of the game. 80%. If you have a better draft than the enemy team, then you will win just because of how the meta turns out and what champions are power picks right now. And I mean, if you look at all these top laners that are super potent right now, Rumble, like if you can play Rumble, for example, if you look at Korea, it has like a 78% win rate or something, and it's just crushing people in like 20-minute games. So if you can play those picks and you know how to play the meta, then it's fairly easy to win a game based on the draft. But I think all the other teams right now in North America, maybe CLG, I think CLG has good drafts too, but all other teams but CLG and TSM have like really shitty drafts, to be honest. At least in
The
my
pick ban phase.
experience.
The pick ban phase, I feel like, determines so much of the game. And I look at some of these. Do you remember? I remember week 1, Teammate gave away Jarvan and Gnar, and I was just watching that, and I was just like, and I'm unemployed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was so questionable to watch. But I think the biggest strength, not only like Dexter is saying, is when you have a coach who takes pride in these pick bans, and if your coach gives you the resources to succeed, and I think Loco does a great job in pick ban. I think he has the most say in it. I think the players will pick what he tells them to. So I will give him a lot of credit for that, and I think he's giving them the tools to succeed. And if they play the style that they are going to consistently perform well.
Okay. So just a couple more, and then we'll wrap it up, because it's been a 3-hour extravaganza, an emotional roller coaster as well. No less. We've had ups, downs, thrills, chills, and spills. In fact, I think it says everything that when your show has to change guests and co-hosts halfway through, like, just to keep going. It's been a hell of a night. We've had everything, and lots of lesbian porn as well, which is great. So, well, hey man, I'm into diversity. What can I say? So, I want to talk a little bit about the Team Coast situation. They seem to be kind of having a little bit of a wobble at the moment.
They can't close games.
Well, exactly, man. They've really got that issue, and of course we had that ridiculous loss to Dignitas, which we haven't done a show since. We haven't talked about it. I never thought I'd see anything like that happen in this current version of League of Legends. I can't believe what I saw.
I think a large learning curve when you come into the LCS is how to close games, because when you're in Challenger, the thing is, like, at least when they were in Challenger, there were no, like, you're going to stomp that team in lane, go 5-0, and just cruise your way to victory because you're just mechanically stronger. You come to LCS, the playing field is finally level. And now it becomes a much more macro based game. You know, it's not all micro, it's macro as well now. I think one thing Coast has an issue with right now in terms of closing games is they're not assessing, and I hate using this term now that everyone uses it, but the win conditions is looking at your composition, assessing your win conditions, and then looking at the map, assessing how you're going to use your composition effectively to close those games. And that can come from, wave management, map pressure, deciding what objectives you're going to contest. And I think contesting objectives right now, quite frankly, isn't exactly a tough choice. You can test first dragon, you can test fifth dragon, 2, 3, and 4. It's kind of up to you in the air. I don't really view those as dragons that are extremely important right now. And so you have to decide when you're closing games the best way to do so. And what Coast does is they just trade minion waves. They'll just clear a mid wave, run to Nash, get all the vision, run back mid, clear the wave. But now that they have the vision, they won't do anything. And they'll just sit there. And eventually they get antsy and they look to do something very impulsively. And so the Baron call was like, hey, let's do Baron. Chris got caught out last week twice and it cost them the game. And so all these small things can be fixed if they think more strategically. If their coach can give them almost like a flow chart to follow, like, okay, you're ahead, you have to close this game. These are the steps to think about before making that decision. That might help them.
Well, like the old CLG flowchart that Monty used to have, you mean?
No, a real flowchart where he gives them a paper and he's like, "Are you ahead? Yes." Step 1, establish what objective you want. Step 2, establish where you want vision control, etc. Stuff like that. Like literally a flowchart to teach them. I mean, that's how we won all our late games. Is I sat down and I'm not gonna take all the credit, but I literally created a flowchart gave it to the players and was like, "What do you guys think?" And then we talked about it, and we just followed a flow chart. That's how we won all those ridiculous late games. Is the players were so quick at it and they were so good at it, and it might not be what people do. It might be very unorthodox, but it worked, and that's just my advice based on what I've kind of done.
Dexter, what have you made of Coast? Have you watched them much this season?
After watching one game, I was like, all right, I'm probably not gonna watch that team for like at least 4 or 5 more weeks because the thing is, I have so much stuff to watch. It's so hard to keep up because I still play like 10 hours a day, and I can only pick like really good games to watch. But Coast looked really fucking bad, to be honest. And I mean, the individual play might be fine because I think Impaler and Jesus are good, but I'm not sure about the rest of the team. And they probably don't even have a real shot caller, you know? That's like
I would
the
think
biggest issue.
Impaler.
Just
I think Impaler.
I don't know. Well, then he has a lot of work to do if he wants to be the shot caller of that team, because it just feels, yeah, they were winning the game because they have like mechanics and are a bit better individually than other teams, but I don't know about that shot calling. It seems to be pretty awful.
Yeah, it's questionable.
Yeah. I don't even know who's that coach right now.
Someone's just sent me a link, an update on Sphere's Facebook page, and the lesbian porn is through the fucking roof. I'm just laughing. Sorry,
Gosh.
it's not laughing at anything you're saying. Yeah, I just remembered that like 3 hours ago we set something in motion that could be terrible, and some of the things people have posted are just so bad. I hate you guys. I said make it tasteful. That isn't tasteful.
You're asking people on the internet to be tasteful. That's
literally there must be hundreds as well. It's brilliant. I'm proud and disgusted simultaneously. So.
I think to just add on to the shot calling comment of Dexter with Impaler, I think to be a good shot caller, you have to possess a shit ton of knowledge about this game. And I don't know Impaler well, but I think he has at least. I think he's competent enough to be a shot caller. Besides that,
the thing is, you can only assume of what, like Reddit is the same thing. They just assume someone is a really great shot caller, but you don't even know what's gonna happen in the team itself and how it works. You know, maybe he isn't the shot caller of the team, and maybe he's actually not saying shit. You never really know until you actually hear like the voice comes. You know, so
okay,
I don't know.
Just based off what I've heard and what people have told me, that's kind of the information I'm getting is Impaler is their shot caller. Yeah, and so that's what I'm basing it off of. I could be wrong. Like there's a chance that, that's all wrong. But if we're going off that assumption, I think regardless of who their shot caller is, they have to have better like thought making ability. Like the Baron call made no sense. The random fight mid where Chris got caught twice made no sense. It's very much so their ability to control the map is very lackluster. They don't really use minion waves to pressure anything. They don't slow push waves. They don't aggressively push their advantages. And I think as new LCS teams, that is a struggle new teams go through, is when you have an advantage, how do you push it? And what's tough is, in this meta, you really do need to push these advantages. Because you could wait for 5 dragons, but the chance of you, kind of throwing is probably a lot higher, and you can't turtle out as well as before. And so with Coast, they just have to figure out whoever their shot caller is. They have to watch games that go late and be like, okay, why did that happen and how did it work? Understand it, take that information, and apply it when they can. But because it's very hard, and Dexter can agree with this, it's hard to practice the late game in scrims. Teams call GG at 20, 25, 30 minutes. We had one scrim last split. We scrimmed EG, and it was a week after our 65-minute game. We scrimmed a 69-minute game and we won. And afterwards, we're like, okay, we're not scrimming the rest of the day. Because no one does that. No one scrims that long. So it's hard to practice, so you have to use your game theory, knowledge, and just watching what others do to become a good late game team. It's very difficult to practice it.
Yeah, scrimming is pretty retarded. I don't know. What we did in CLG was just, it's just true that most teams, like we had a scrim block against C9, where we restarted the game 7 times in 2 hours because they keep invading us at level 1, and didn't want to back off, even when they were the weaker team. They were still going for it and were testing their limits. And then after 2 hours of just doing level 1s, our scrims were over and we didn't scrim for the day. So what teams are doing is you just learn how to shot call in LCS games. That's how you do it, actually.
LCS is trial
LCS
by error.
Yeah, it is. Like, you don't learn shot calling in scrims because it just, even if you play serious and say, yeah, let's have a serious block, no one takes practice like serious at all. No one gives a shit about scrims, to be honest. Like, the results really don't matter, and teams are not really playing at like 50% even. And the way you learn how to shot call is just you play LCS, you see what you did wrong, and you just hope that next game you play, you actually implement. Yeah, that's how you do it.
And the people who say, oh, you should take scrim seriously, Jesus, please come to a scrim block and scrim and then tell me that same argument. It's very difficult. Like, I know it does fall on the coach a little bit. Like, Coast has these issues. Elements is their coach, I believe. You know, like, Cody, I know you're going to work on it, but man, pick it up. I don't want to see these 60-minute games where you throw, because that just makes me sad as someone who is a firm believer that the late game can be a great tool for you. It can be a psychological advantage. You know, like when you're winning all these late games and you get to that point, even if you're a shit tier team, some team is going to be like, well, fuck. So if you can get to the late game and you know how to shot call, it's hard to practice, but the coach needs to make sure it happens. The coach has to be the one taking the shot caller side, being like, okay, this is a 60-minute game from OGN. We're going to watch the last 20 minutes, and you're going to tell me what happened. And you have to figure out a method of that. That's the only way, because scrims are kind of a joke.
Well, look, I won't offer anything on that point because I've never managed the League of Legends team, but I know from Counter-Strike that practices were always a clusterfuck. Like, the idea that anyone takes practices seriously, especially when you're practicing against other teams that you will eventually have to compete against to prove your supremacy or dominance over them in a competitive environment, is ridiculous. No one ever really does that. You know, it's exactly that. It's a very loose, free form practice, and as soon as things start going shit, people just bail out. Yeah, we've lost you 6-0 up. Fuck it, we're out. Next game, bollocks, and that's how it always worked in Counter-Strike anyway.
And it's tough. It's tough to
Yeah.
get those important practice rounds because no one wants to give you that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to give another team practice in the late game. Are you kidding? I don't want to give them practice. If we're 10 kills ahead and a team calls GG and you don't know how to push an advantage, they're canceling the game. They don't want you to learn how to play when you're ahead. There's strategy when you scrim and when you call the games, or you're just getting stomped that you don't give a shit. But it's one or the other.
Right, so like I said, we were going to do one more chat about NA, and you know, we talked a lot about Dignitas on Trash Talk the other night, so I don't want to labour the point. But obviously, Crum standing down. If we can just get a few quick thoughts about this, because his video that he did, that VOD he did, he kind of looked like a horse had just shat in his handbag. He really didn't seem happy at all. And I don't know, did he stand down? Was he pushed? It seemed really, you know, Crumbs is usually quite an upbeat and cheery guy. I thought that video. Yeah. So what do you guys, first of all, make of Crumbs leaving Dignitas? And what do we think that, is there more going on behind the scenes that maybe we don't know about? Because he didn't seem particularly chuffed or, you know, pleased, I should say, to actually not be with the team anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty good friends with Danny, like with Shifter, and obviously I keep like talking with him from like a weekly basis, and it was pretty obvious that the team has like internal struggles, and it probably has something to do with the overall team atmosphere, and I can see why. Like, I mean, I have a lot of information on that topic, but I don't want to like publicly say it because it's not right, and it's not my right to do so. But yeah, it seemed that the overall team atmosphere was just really, really bad, and I think it might be that having two Korean players that can't really speak the language, and then if you don't get along with another person, that you don't really have a reason to stay in that team, and it's gonna be really like, I can't tell you how frustrating it is to not be able to talk to your teammates without a translator, you know. I mean, yeah, it's actually really bad because it's fine at the start, but as time progresses, it actually gets a lot worse, and you get really frustrated with how everything goes. And I can just see that Kubz was like, alright, why do I even do this shit? I mean, it doesn't get me anywhere, and well, I'm gonna peace out, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's probably what
think
happened.
I think part of his poor performances in LCS, which people will be like, "Oh, he sucked." I think part of it was because the play style and maybe communication, it's hard to communicate with teammates. That might have played a part in some of his poor performances. I think you eventually reach a point of frustration, and you come to a crossroads where you think, is this worth doing to myself still, or is there a different path I could take? And I think, and obviously I don't have the information Dexter does, but I think Kubz came to that point. And just from talking to him, we were both at a Worlds viewing party for UBC together, and just from talking to him and just knowing him, it was really weird to see him like that. I think a lot of frustration that he has is still inside him. I don't think he let it all out in that video, and I feel for him, and I think stepping away was a good decision for him personally. And I think even for the organization, if there's issues internally between players, and maybe Kubz is a player who didn't get along with one of the English-speaking players, for example, right? So if that's an issue, then maybe bringing in a new jungler is the right call. And I'm not trying to be the starter of any kind of war or anything, but I mean, when you look at I'm not even going to go into it, Richard. I've learned. I'm not even going to go into it, actually. I'm just going to finish off my statement.
Can you finish the point, but maybe in a toned down fashion? Is there any way you can do that?
When you look at, Danny's a great mid laner, but the junglers he's played with have all, besides Kubz, said something. I don't know if it's true. I like Danny. Me and Danny talk. He's a great guy. But just based on what you hear, maybe that's something. But I highly doubt it. I think the bigger thing is Kubz was just like, playstyle's not working, like he said in the video. Can't communicate with my teammates. I'm not playing well. Reddit's shitting on me. And I think it was just a lot for him. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna take a break and come back refreshed more than ever. And I think for Kubz, that's the right thing to do.
Do you think as well, though, that the fact that he was so well received when he was doing, his work on the analysis desk, and everyone was really getting into what he offered and got to see a different side to his personality? Do you think he was kind of thinking, yeah, maybe if I stand down, there's going to be other opportunities anyway? Like, I often think people don't realize what pro players put themselves through to be pro players. And actually, there are many better ways and less stressful ways to make money and make a living. Do you think having success in that area contributed to making an easier decision for him? You can say no. It's just a theory.
Oh, you're asking?
Either of you.
I mean, what do you think, Dexter?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that Kubz is still a good player, and
yeah,
he even said so. He wants to play more. He's gonna play Challenger Series, so why would he not stay in LCS if he can, right? But I came to the conclusion that if you're not really happy with how you are in a team and how the team environment is and how progress is with the overall team is going, then there's no point to play LCS if you're not happy. You have to prioritize your own happiness over playing in LCS, because I made the same decision. If I really wanted to play LCS, I could have just joined the team. I could have been in the team right now and play, but I knew beforehand that the circumstances are not as good for me as I would have liked them to be, and it would not be worth it to play LCS because I would be unhappy. And I think Kubz maybe came, I can only assume. I haven't really talked to him, but I'm gonna do that probably. But you can only assume that he was not happy with the overall situation, and I think he probably expected 2 Koreans coming in to be a bit easier, because that's probably a big contributing factor too, that he can't really talk to them, and then it's not going so well, and Dignitas at the bottom of the standings, and then then you ask yourself, is it even worth it to play LCS right now? Is it worth it to play for me in this team? If it just sucks the happiness out of you, then it isn't worth it. 100%.
If you're not having fun, you shouldn't be doing it. And I think for both parties, Kubz stepping down to take his break, he'll find a team. he's good enough to find a team. And I think for Dig to bring someone new and maybe kind of rejuvenate them, I still believe there's a chance. I would say there's a good chance they don't finish number 10. I don't think that they're going to. At that's I think there's a chance with new jungler, and everything like that. Maybe with the new roster, new attitude, etc. That they can still maybe contend for 7, 8, maybe 6. But I couldn't see it going beyond.
Swapping out one player won't do anything. I can't tell you that. Like, the relationship between all other players is still the same, and the team dynamic doesn't really change that drastically to actually make a significant improvement. Like, Dignitas won't just come out of like next week with a new jungler and go like 2-0 or something. It will take a lot of time, and by the time they have the adjustments settling in, it might be too late already, and you won't know. So I actually fear for Dignitas to kind of be in the same situation where they just don't even try anymore, because the biggest problem was with like bottom LCS teams, like bottom 2. They didn't even practice anymore like properly, and they said, yeah, well, we're just gonna prepare for relegations. We don't even care anymore, So
Yep.
I kind of fear for Dignitas to, like, for the players, not for the organization, for the players to just get into the mindset, oh well, our whole split is already fucked. Like, what's the point of trying? We just go like 10th spot anyway and go relegation. Not like we get relegated pretty much, but that's like the mindset I don't want Dignitas to have, and it all points that way, that they're gonna be even more until if it's not working out with their new jungler and they don't know who to get. And yeah, that's my take on it. That a lot of teams didn't even try anymore when they were in the bottom standings, and their only goal was survive relegations.
So
been there. He's it's kind of true, but I do think at the same time, at least when we were in relegations, we were still like, we just want to beat teams and finish as strong as we can. But it definitely could go either way. And like with the Dignitas thing, like they could perform well. Like I said, Dexter said they could, there's fear that they could, stay the same. But I stand by that. I think there's a chance that changing one player could make that difference. I've seen it. Over the years in LCS, season 3, season 4, and this season, I guess we'll get to see
You're
again.
right, actually. It was the same in Lemon Dogs, actually. We changed one player, and then we went from like bottom 2 to rank 1 pretty much.
Okay,
You're
let's
right,
think
actually.
about CLG though. You came in the spring split, and CLG went from a team that finished, 5th to 3rd place in the spring split. So the initial results could be on the rise. Long term, obviously, it could be a little different. That's just what I'm basing my opinion off of.
So look, we got 5 minutes left. So there's one other thing I want to get into, right? And it's the big talking point in NA, I think. So I've saved it till last. Obviously, we need to wrap it up fairly quickly. Team Liquid, obviously formerly known as Curse. They have Keith McBreathin. Yeah, guaranteed 4th, obviously. They have Keith McBreathin, just Keith. Playing AD carry for them in the first 2 weeks. They build a team and a strat around him, and everything's going to be awesome. And it works. They win their first 2 games. Everyone's like, holy shit, when Piglet gets here, people are going to get fucking wrecked. And then Piglet gets here, and instead of them getting wrecked, he gets wrecked. The team gets wrecked. And they go 0-2 in the second week. And everyone's like, what the fuck happened? So that is my question to both of you. You can take it in any order you want. What the fuck happened?
I think they dropped the ball in picks and bans in that one game, so you can just contribute that loss to like a really bad drafting, in my opinion. And well, they even said it in interviews. It's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be a transition split, and I can tell you that not being able to communicate with all 5 players is a fucking disaster, and it hurts you in the long run. Like, it hurts a lot in your like in game. And even if you have a star player like a world's winner like Piglet, you can't make up for the communication, because the level of individual skill has risen up to a certain level that it doesn't really matter if you're not that good as a certain player. You can just get like the team aspect and communication going, and then kind of cover your weaknesses with that. I mean, look at the AD carries right now in LCS. We have like Doubleless, Peter. We have Sneaky playing really, really well. Wild Turtle is playing really good again, and yeah, it just feels that the overall level has increased a lot, and I don't think Piglet has, like, everyone came in with the weird expectations that Piglet is just gonna be the best AD carry that has ever played in LCS, which is completely wrong because you can only be so good, And I suppose that it might hurt them.
I think with
Kubz?
Piglet, yeah. See, this is an interesting one to me because, the first thing you look at is in that first game, he didn't have masteries. That is kind of a big deal when you're playing League of Legends.
That didn't make a difference, to be honest. That game was, I don't know.
I think it
Mechanical
affected the
excuse,
laning
but
phase. He had to play so much more passively when you don't
He
have
played-
some of those stats.
Was it against C9? Right?
Yeah.
When
He
he
was
played-
playing Sivir
yeah.
and Sneaky was playing
Right.
Kalista.
Here's the thing. Kalista Ani is fucking broken and just shits on Sivir completely. And even with masteries, he would have died, I think. I don't think that.
I think it would have
obviously,
maybe
like,
helped
but
though. Yeah.
It would have
Well,
helped, but I think the outcome would have been the same.
Okay, I think he might have had a better time in the lane. I don't think he would have been as starved as he was in that game. I think it would have made a difference in that sense. I'm not saying he would have went and stomped the lane or anything like that because Kalista is obviously one of the strongest ADs right now, and they paired it with Annie in that game, and so that's not exactly fun to play against. I think with Keith, the biggest advantage they had was communication wise. Keith is obviously English speaker. And so when you base a comp around that and you can communicate with him and tell him kind of what to do, playing AD carry, Keith has the mechanics and he did a very good job. I think with Piglet, there's a lot of different variables coming in, right? The language barrier within his own lane, can be huge. When it comes to talking in game and kind of telling Piglet, what's going on, it could be difficult. I think nerves are a huge thing for him. There's a lot of pressure on this guy. There's a lot of pressure.
Cultural adaptation as well definitely takes its toll. You're in a foreign country. The support network you have around you isn't there anymore. You're really relying on your team and the organization you're a part of to kind of pick up that slack.
Yeah, and you're coming into a rough situation. None of the new players had a particularly great first week who came in. You know what I mean? And so for me, I still think Piglet's mechanically a very strong player. I think he still has the ability to take control of games. I think the biggest thing is going to be he has to get used to this environment so he can perform optimally, because I don't think either of those games he performed to the level that he would be happy with or what people expected. And so he just needs time to get comfortable. And I think he knows that, and I think he'll bounce back and work really hard. And I think it should help Team Liquid in the long run, because I predicted them to be possibly top team this split somewhere.
Well, I think everybody said that. I think people are maybe going to still maybe revise their opinion based on what they've seen, but I still think they're good for a top 4 finish, right? That's pretty much, the 4th spot's their destiny. So look, I think we'll wrap it up there, all the discussion and debate. But just before we go, one quick question to you, Marcel. Lots of little dicky birds, as we call them in England, just little birds, I guess, if you're worried about the dicky part of it, have been telling me that you're coming back to coaching.
Who said that?
Dicky birds.
Dicky birds?
Yeah, Mr. D Bird told me that you've been approached by several. Well, you've got options on the table. You're gonna be involved this split, and you will be a coach. Now, I'm not asking you to confirm or deny on stream, but could there be any truth in this, Marcel?
Well, I don't even know the answer to that. I still feel that just like I'm playing 10 hours a day right now, and just from playing the game and having to do like analysis work and shit, I actually feel that I'm on the top of my game and I would want to play LCS. I actually feel that I'm in a really good spot right now in terms of mechanics and everything. But coaching is not my only option, and I have other options on the table too that I would want to pursue, but I don't want to talk about it yet because it's still a slight chance that I will play. The thing is, I want to play. I want to play over everything else. But if I can't play, then I have to see how how I get food on the table and see where my career is going, because I can't just sit and wait, because that's just stupid and it doesn't really do anything for me. So I just have to see in what direction I want to go, because I was definitely like interested in coaching a team. I was talking to some like sports psychologists and everything to get like a better idea of what a coach has to do and everything. So I was actually prepared to be a coach. I even offered my help to several teams to help them out, and I would have done that to like kind of just for like 1 or 2 months to just help them out in their picks and bans and play and see what they can do wrong, like what they can do better, as long as I don't have a team. But yeah, I didn't really have the chance to. And right now I feel that I really want to play again, but that's all I can say right now. But yeah.
Well, I look, you know me, Marcel. I've always said I think you're good enough. I thought there was a chance maybe you would find your way into Fnatic. That didn't happen. Then there was the talk about maybe you making a team for Copenhagen Wolves, and that didn't happen. I think it's a shame you're not in the LCS this split, and I think obviously you've got lots of fans and lots of people who would like to see you back playing. So from me, and I'm sure from everyone in the Twitch chat, I hope it works out for you. I mean, I think coaching at this stage in your career, when you've still got a lot to offer as a player, it would be a bit of a waste, actually. So I hope you are back playing. But as you say, food on the table. I know all about that.
To be honest,
no, go on.
I just want to
finish off, bro.
I think I'm still way too good to just be a coach for the team, I still think I can be egoistical enough that I think that I would perform very good on an LCS level, and I still have it in me, and I want to prove it to myself, I want to prove it that I can easily play at like top 3 in my position still. And I firmly believe that after playing a lot of, like after intensive playing for like 2 weeks, I still believe that I can and actually should be playing in LCS, and not end up as a coach.
Yeah, I think you want to play and then go out on your terms when you're ready to, and I respect that.
Yeah, absolutely. So there we go. I think we'll wrap up the show there. It's been a bit of a raucous and crazy affair tonight, I've got to say. And I know you chaps probably weren't here at the beginning. I don't know if you were watching, but it kind of
I'm a huge fan, Richard. I watch every episode.
I'm glad. It's nice to know somebody does. But we started with, lots of excitement, and Sky's here, and we're going to talk about this stuff, and we talked about streaming, and then we talked about a bit of social justice warrior stuff, and we got some lesbian porn going on, and then write a letter to Brandon Beck, and it was all really driven and activist. And then it just went into a kind of weird phase where everyone just started insulting each other and talking about sucking each other's dicks, and then it
got real weird, man.
Yeah,
it got real weird.
It's like, and I wanted to hold an intervention and be like, look, we've got to stop this, but it kind of spiraled, and then the show stopped, and now we ended up with 2 completely different people on, and now we've had like an hour of just actual analysis and serious talk about the game.
You've had an hour of Dexter's analysis. I don't know what I'm talking about, Richard. Come on. Do you read? Do you read? I don't know what I'm doing, man. Come on.
Well, yeah, that is true. So I got to say, I want to thank you guys for coming and bringing us that this week. I knew when we had Sky on, it wasn't going to be quite so focused on the analysis side of things, but of course, to get your experience, Kubz, and like I say to everybody, ignore all that bullshit. People don't know what they're talking about. You're a very smart and intelligent and erudite guy. That's why we're always happy to have you on the show. Marcel, you made your debut under very strange circumstances, but we're going to get you a webcam, and we're going to get you on this show for real, for proper.
Right.
A real Dexter show.
All right.
Yeah, that is going to happen. Right. We've talked about it a lot, man. And as soon as you've got that playing contract signed, we're going to get you on here, and we're going to talk about how awesome it is to have you back in LCS. So all that remains to say is thanks to you guys for coming on and kind of saving the show from becoming a parody of itself.
I enjoyed Sky and Broken. Just my final thing. I enjoyed that.
I do.
And
I did.
I love both of them, and I would sub to this channel to watch it again. Cheers.
Maybe
was
that's how
stunned.
I'm gonna get rich and retire. I think we
Hey.
charge people for the VOD.
Send me the
it-
$5 and I'll send it to you on Skype. It's private now.
Done.
Sam-
Done. I'm PayPal right now, dude.
I was gonna say, man, like it needs to be 18 rated because
It's gonna be on Reddit anyway tomorrow.
yeah,
Oh,
I'm
oh, no, dude.
it
Not
might already
Reddit.
be there. Might
There'll
already
be a round
there.
of applause for the overlay rotations as well.
Yeah, great micro, Sam. So all I remains to say is, look, thanks to you guys for coming on. Really appreciate it. I want to give a big shout out to Sky Williams. Great to see him coming back to League. He's a guy that I've known for a while. We talk regularly, usually when we're drunk. Some of the things aren't fit to repeat, but he's amazing, and League is certainly a much better place with him there. Obviously, thanks to my co-host Ram, who's taking a bit of a sabbatical for the rest of the show, but I'm sure he'll be back next time. In fact, there's a chance we may do an impromptu ad hoc breakdown of the European games. We've talked about that for a while, and of course we are even talking about casting some games, me and Ram, not the official LCS ones. Riot won't allow that, but doing some low level like gold ladder games or whatever. So we've got lots of plans in the pipeline, and of course thanks to Sam, the producers, thanks to all of you out there who watched the show, thanks to all the people who tweeted and joined in, thanks to the people who spammed lesbian porn and sent letters to Brandon Beck. And with that was the 15th episode of First Blood. We'll see you same time next Wednesday. Thanks a lot for watching. Peace.